grand final?
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of expectation put on our team from the start of the year. We're really excited and we're looking forward to Saturday.
And that's full time. The Bulls FC, as they all run onto the field, are off to the 2025 NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final.
It's been a journey, and to get
Good afternoon from Jubilee Stadium in the southern suburbs of Sydney. It's NPL New South Wales Women's Grand Final Day, and a first-time champion will be crowned this afternoon as Bulls FC Academy take on APIA Leichhardt, two teams whose history is quite closely related on their journeys to this grand final day. Similar experiences, both in terms of winning promotion to this division and also grand final heartbreak in recent years. We are counting down to a 2:30 p.m. local kickoff, which is just under 10 minutes from now. My name's Teo Pellizzeri, and joining me is former Matilda Teresa Polias. Teresa, great to have your company for what is a absolutely perfect day for football here in Sydney.
Thank you, Teo. It's an absolute beautiful day for it. Two great teams up against each other. I can't wait till it starts.
Now, we have a roving reporter on the sideline. Let's see if we've got him early doors to start our broadcast this afternoon, because we will be checking in with him through the course of the day. It is Will Constantinidis. Will, do we have you down at the sideline? Good afternoon. I don't think we do. We'll stay across that and see if we do have him throughout the course of the day. Right now, though, we're not far away from the teams walking out onto the pitch. Teresa, before we get into the lineups, we are watching a match here between last year's runner-up Apia, who lost the grand final on penalties, and the Bulls Academy team, who you and I saw lose the 2023 grand final with two late goals. So both these clubs have experienced recent heartache, but they've both found a way back to the decider. How much do you think that counts for in terms of the experience of knowing what it's like on the big day?
Yeah, look, it counts for so much, Teo, having been there. And let's note, both teams recently promoted or welcomed into the competition, and to be able to stay up for one thing and, you know, compete for championships is huge. But their recent experience in finals football will be really, really important for them today.
Not far away from the teams out of the tunnel. So let's, at a leisurely pace, go through the teams for both sides lining up in this game. The Bulls Academy have made one change to their starting 11. Janea Dos Santos has come in, and Ivani Prakash moves to the bench. No one has dropped out of the matchday squad, though. So their goalkeeper is the Japanese veteran Mio Nomoto. Capped at number 5, Liz Gray. 6, Anna Hogarth-Scott. 8, Claudia Valletta, 10, Tamira Souza, 11, Daniela Naimi, 12, Jasmine Melli, 14, Patria Phillips, 16, Isabella Coco de Scipio, 17, Janaea dos Santos, and 18, Gemma Ferris. On the bench for Bulls Academy, backup keeper Lily Taylor, 2, Maya Khalil, 4, Ruby Davies, 7, Avani Prakash, 13, Grace Johns, and 33, Jade Guichon. Very young bench, lots of teenagers among the substitutes, but they do have a good mix of experience. Liz Gray, Tamira Souza, and Mio Namoto are 3 veterans that have helped really steady this otherwise young team through the course of a very good season.
Yeah, we're talking about a very long season as well, so having a young bench, I don't think that plays much into it today. Perhaps if they get into overtime later, it will be a bit of a disadvantage, but I think, them having gotten this far is huge for them.
And they are coached by first-year women's coach Marti Garces, whose experiences are extensive, more than a decade around New South Wales football with the likes of Manly United and Sydney Olympic. And most recently, he was coaching the assistant coach at the Western Sydney Wanderers men's under 23s, their academy. So he knows the scene, and he's certainly had a great season in terms of seeing the turnover of players. You get the influx of people coming from the A-League mid-season, the disappointment of losing Indiana Dos Santos to an ACL. Of course, huge. Sister Janaea still playing, but they're in the grand final for the second time in 3 years. And they only won promotion to this division 3 years ago. So 2 grand finals in the 3 seasons they've been on this stage. I
mean, that's remarkable. And his first year in the women's game too. So for him to achieve, reaching a grand final, possibly winning it, is massive.
Let's look at the APIA Leichhardt team. They have also made one change to the team that advanced to the grand final by beating quite comfortably, University of New South Wales 2-0 last weekend. Their goalkeeper is Sophie Magus, 2, Claudia Chico, 4, Jess Seaman, 5, Teal Kilbride, 6, Mona Walker, 7, Charlotte Lancaster, 11, Ashley Crofts, 13, Jordan Jasnos, 16, Estelle Fregale, 18, Sophie Hoban, and 38, Alyssa Rose, back from suspension. On the bench, backup keeper is Paige Cuthill, and on the bench, capped Matilda, number 3, Tash Pryor, 8, Hannah McNulty, 15, Gisela Pepino, 19, Imogen Lane, and 39, Ashley Brodigan. It means that the only change to the 11 is Rose comes in, moving McNulty to the bench, and Zoe Panagopoulos, the youngster, drops out of the matchday squad. So, APIA, lots of names we know from the A-League Women's, Teresa Placia, club stalwarts like Estelle Fregale and Mona Walker, who's had a great season, Sophie Magus, who's one of the longest-serving APIA players in goal. They had a pretty rocky start to the season. They were sort of going, win-loss, alternating, and then they've come good. They won the Cup. Certainly it helps to win the Sapphire Cup and have that experience. They finished second in the home and away season, and now here they are in the grand final. Yeah,
look, they've come a long way, and what matters is that they're in form now. So, very, very good starting 11 and a very experienced bench as well, which might come in very handy if things go overtime later.
Well, they do have a very experienced bench. Tash Pryor is only her second game of the NPL season, Teresa.
I mean, and Matilda on the bench, Teo. That's amazing.
And she only played 30 minutes off the bench last week, so it'll be interesting to see how many minutes again she has in the legs. But I guess if APIA is your club and you're registered to them, you can appear when the coach says you're ready.
That's right. She'll be ready.
Pretty good option to have.
She'll be ready.
Let's talk about some of the start. Oh, we've got the FIFA anthem, which means the teams are not far away from coming out of the tunnel here at Jubilee Stadium. It's the grand final for these two sides. Neither has ever been the champion of NPL Women's New South Wales. The former Northbridge Bulls, now known as Bulls Academy, were promoted in 2022, and APIA Leichhardt were promoted in 2019, and they have made the grand final in consecutive years. And as the applause swells from the crowd, it means the two teams are coming out of the tunnel, and they're both wearing their home kit for this grand final. Bulls in all black and APIA in their maroon shirt with light blue shorts. Our officiating crew for this match: Charlotte Flynn, central referee; Amber Morris, AR1; Lara Hogan, assistant referee number 2; and fourth official, Mia Velarde. Congratulations to those four on being selected for the grand final. The pitch is in absolutely immaculate condition. It's about 20 degrees with a light breeze. You could not ask for a better setting for a grand final.
Yeah, Tay, this pitch it's the best I've seen it. So it's an absolute carpet out there. No excuses. Can't wait for it to start.
and also Brad Attard, of course, exchanging handshakes with Marty Garces, the two coaches of these sides. Brad Attard, formerly at Blacktown Spartans, an experienced coach in this competition, hoping to cap what has been a great ascent from APIA to this grand final. We're going to check in one more time with Will Constantinides down at ground level just to give us a feel of the crowd and the atmosphere. And it is a little bit squally with the breeze around. Will, if we have got you back, give us an update on the weather conditions.
Absolutely perfect down here, guys. The crowd has started to come in. There is not a bit of breeze around. The pitch is in perfect condition. I had a bit of a walk around a little earlier. It should make for some great football down here on grand final day. And we're just a couple minutes away from getting it all kicked off.
So the two captains of each team, Liz Gray and also Ashley Crofts, meeting in the middle here. Leadership's going to be so important today, Teresa, especially for the players that, even though these clubs have been in recent grand finals, there are still individuals scattered among both that haven't been on this stage before. You have plenty of experience as a captain. What do you say to the players heading into their first grand final?
Yeah, it's all about keeping them calm, I think, and not letting the occasion get the better of them, and reminding them that this is, albeit a big occasion, it's just like any other game. And I think the message will be that first 10 minutes, get the ball under control, play it simple, get into the zone, and once they're in the zone, it'll feel like any other game.
Now, head-to-head meetings this season, these sides met in the last home and away round, and it was a 2-1 win to Bulls Academy at APIA's Lambert Park. Petria Phillips scored both the goals, while the other goal was an own goal from a corner. And then in June, it was a 1-1 draw at Northbridge Oval and a penalty from Ashley Crofts, which was answered by a goal from Tamirez Souza at a corner scramble. The key takeaway there, Teresa, is that APIA haven't actually scored in open play against Bulls this season. An own goal from a corner and a penalty are their two goals this season. So they would love to either win some early set pieces or find a way to actually break through and score from open play against this Bulls defence.
Absolutely. They'll be hoping that today's the day they can finally break through and score in open play. But you know what? There's plenty of pressure out there, and I think they'll be happy with the goal, however it comes.
So the crowd finding their voice as players break out into position. It's the NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final of 2025. And Janea Dos Santos of Bulls Academy is going to kick this off, attacking the right of your screens. If you're tuning in from interstate or overseas, the first time you've seen these two sides, it's Bulls Academy in all black against APIA in maroon and blue. And we're underway in the grand final of 2025. And the ball straight out to right side of midfield, and Jasmine Melly trying to advance for Bulls Academy. But Alyssa Rose, back from suspension, is able to take possession. And of course, she was shown a red card when these teams met in the final round of the home and away season, but only the one game off for a dog so foul. Here goes Petria Phillips. Is this her day? She's been a live wire this season for the Bulls Academy and looking for an early assist. Ends up picking out Sophie Magus, the goalkeeper. Petria Phillips, a player that you know from your time as a teacher, Teresa.
That's right, Teo. I recall coaching against her in the local school's PWSA Friday competition, and she was honestly the best player in the competition. So good to see her out there doing Petria things again. She's started really brightly, and you can see she's still got that skill. So fantastic to see her at, this level now. Coming off
a 10-goal home and away season is Phillips. And definitely one of the players to watch in this contest as the Bulls through Daniela Naimi, and now Gemma Ferris with a long ball over the top. It's going to pitch on the immaculate surface here and bounce straight on to Sophie Magus. And Isabella Coco DeCipio was just roaming there over on the left side, a former APIA Leichhardt player, now against her old side. That'll be an additional motivation, but there's a huge amount of cross-pollination between these two teams as the referee's whistle goes for the second time. First time since kickoff, it's an early free kick here against Phillips. You've got the likes of Jessica Seaman and Charlotte Lancaster, who were Bulls FC players a couple of seasons ago in the grand final, which they lost to the MacArthur Rams. And of course, for APIA, you've got Alyssa Rose, and on the bench, Ashley Brodigan, who started the season at Bulls and then moved during the transfer window. So safe to say there's no secrets. Everyone's familiar with each other out there in the game.
Well, it makes it more exciting, Teo, and hopefully a little more fiery out there, that cross-pollination. I love the way you termed that.
Right now, Bulls have had the territorial advantage as the teams feel each other out in the early stages. But another foul here. Anna Hogarth-Scott nipping at the heels of Alyssa Rose and giving away the free kick here, which will be taken by Jess Seaman. The Supermum made a comeback to the A-League Women's briefly last season as an injury replacement player. And now calls APIA home. Here's Mona Walker out to the right side. And one thing we discussed off-air pre-game was how often APIA would rely on Claudia Chico to bomb forward from the right side of defence and effectively play two positions in one. And we saw they were looking for her there with the diagonal ball. Yeah,
and that's something we did talk about, and she's got the engine to do that. So I think that's a huge plus for APIA, and I think they'll try to use that to their advantage wherever possible.
Clearance away by Jess Seaman. Ashley Crofts leaning into a header. Gemma Ferris consolidating possession. And now a back pass down to Mio Nomoto, the Japanese goalkeeper who's spent a bit of time in Spain after leaving her native Japan. Crossfield pass here. Naomi is going to challenge. Jordan Jasnos has to be awake to the danger here, and Jasnos runs to the sideline and clears. Jasnos, who was given the Player of the Match medal in the Sapphire Cup final a couple of months ago, as APIA won that trophy 3-0 against Mount Druitt Town. Trying to win their third trophy of the season, having won the club championship as well, while for the Bulls, they are trying to do a premiership championship double. Driving forward here is Melly. Ball cleared from the edge of the area by Estelle Fregale. And now Sophie Hoban. Expect her on the rather large Jubilee pitch to break the lines and run from penalty area to penalty area, as we're seeing perhaps in front of us right now. Charlotte Lancaster doesn't get elevation on that pass, and Liz Gray comes through to intercept. And look at her take the game on here, and she's sized down by a challenge from Lancaster.
Yeah, tough challenge there on Gray. She's bombed through, trying to create that overload, and draws the foul there.
It's a mid-range free kick, just about at the halfway line. APIA with quite a tall defence. Teal Kilbride, not as tall as Jessica Seaman in the centre of defence, but still quite good in the air. And you've got Claudia Chico and Jordan Jasnos, who are both on the taller side for fullbacks.
Yeah, and I think both teams have some target players out there, so set pieces will be crucial today.
Liz Gray, interestingly, has been left back in defence for this early set piece here, which is out for a corner off the head of Jessica Seaman. It became awkward, and I mentioned the squally breeze. It is favouring the right of your screens in this first half.
You could see that ball absolutely flew. Really awkward one there for Seaman, and she does enough, though.
And the first corner of the game will be taken by Daniela Naimi. The 19-year-old who spent a number of years at the Football New South Wales Institute. Here comes the corner kick. It's low to the near post and dealt with by Ashley Crofts. The long shot could be on here. Hogarth-Scott resists the temptation. Now Petria Phillips. She goes for it from range. And it ends up being a catch at chest height for Sophie Magus in goal. It's a big day for Magus. Kept a clean sheet in the semi-final last week. Bouncing back from the disappointment of a couple of distributions that invited the Bulls on for a couple of their goals in the final home and away round. And you see she's taking no risks there with any short passes out, even into the wind, happy to go long.
Yeah, look, smart play in light of recent events, but great to see she got that clean sheet last week, and what a boost of confidence that would be for her leading into the grand final.
Jessica Seaman with the back pass here to Teal Kilbride. And it's Petria Phillips leading the press, and now Tamira Souza comes up from midfield, but Estelle Fregale with great awareness to flick the ball on, and Alyssa Rose not able to link up with Ashley Crofts. But you see there's backspin on the ball, so it's going to stay in here, and Claudia Chico retrieves. Summer, so she's got happy memories. This venue as APIA push through the right, and a through ball here is going to set up kindly for the opening goal. APIA 1-0. And an excellent run from Sophie Hoban has been able to split open the Bulls' defence. It's her 5th in the league, and she makes it 1-0 to APIA Leichhardt.
Well, she's always going to be a danger, Hoban. That's her bread and butter, bombing on. She's a box-to-box player, and the Bulls just were not aware of her. It happened seamlessly, like you said, Teo, and they go one up.
Well, it really looked so simple. I mean, it is a very large pitch where you can drag players out of position, but as we look at the replay, I mean, Hoban, once she got ahead of steam up, no one was catching her.
Yeah, they just were not aware of her, and working in between those lines, those spaces, that's what she loves, and that's what she's so good at, as you can see.
And so, as we have kickoff here for Bulls FC, they have the disappointment of conceding an early goal, but the recent meetings between these sides have been quite high-scoring affairs. So it is a scenario where they will hope that they can mount a comeback and turn it into a bit of a shootout, perhaps, just like last season's grand final where we had a goal inside the first 3 minutes. It didn't help APIA in the end.
Well, there's their goal in open play, Teo.
It is the goal in open play. We were calling for it pre-game.
Well, this is danger time now for the Bulls. They've conceded without expecting to really, a goal they shouldn't have conceded. So I think there's a danger now of APIA adding to that tally. So they've got to be very careful here. They've got to reorganise, get their heads up and go at APIA and try and get one back.
Goal kick for Magus. Tamira Souza trying to spend some time on the ball. Get Bulls Academy back into the contest. Naimi. Throw in is going. APIA's way. Well defended by Estelle Fragale.
You can hear the APIA fans getting behind them as they always do. They're pumped up at the moment.
Jordan Jasnos with a throw in down the line. Isabella Coco de Scipio finds Petria Phillips, just staying onside. Now Naimi not able to get to the ball before Jasnos, who clears away. So potential long throw-in opportunity here for the Bulls Academy. Can they turn it into a quick response to falling behind? Janaea Dos Santos trying to extract the ball in a tangle here with Jordan Jasnos, who's able to peel away and isn't able to avoid conceding a corner kick. So a little bonus set piece out of not very much.
Yeah, it's a good response here from the Bulls, but this is a crucial set piece. They've got to get a good delivery.
Janaea Dos Santos standing over the Santos, great close range save from Magus. It doesn't get a goal-bound touch. Dos Santos another chance, and the shot is deflected away. It was Claudia Valletta on the scene, and it's out for another corner kick. What a good save, though, from Sophie Magus.
Fantastic save. It was a great strike from Dos Santos, and Magus had to be alert there, and she was. There were bodies in front of her. Fantastic goalkeeping.
How about the technique from Dos Santos on the strike
She struck that plum, didn't she?
So the Bulls have come up with the instant response here, but can they grab the equaliser? Again, players wait beyond the far post. Dos Santos with plenty of momentum, and Jessica Seaman flies through to win the header. Hogarth Scott, first to the loose ball, tries to slalom through. Was she legged? Referee says keep playing, and the ball is twisted away out for a throw-in. Let's throw it down quickly to Will Constantinidis. The crowd's really come into it, Will, and they were pretty excited after that first goal too. Thank you, Will, and we will keep checking in as we will endeavour to throughout the course of the afternoon as the ball is cleared away. This is good territorial advantage here for the Bulls, but they need to cash in and turn it into a goal.
That's right, Teo. The momentum's in their favour at the moment. It's been down this end, their attacking end, and they've got to really take advantage.
You wouldn't know the team trailing at the moment. Valletta Ball cleared away by Kilbride, and now Hoban, the goal scorer. Crofts is hanging off the last defender. She's onside too. Goalkeeper has come out here. Crofts, oh, great keeping by Namoto, but she's off her line. Rose, does she fancy a long shot? She takes possession, and now Mio Namoto is back on her line. It was hair-raising there for a second, but great goalkeeping, and now as Bulls try to go down the other end, there's no one running onto the ball for them.
Yeah, very good goalkeeping there from Namoto, and once again, that ball in behind Teo. The Bulls have to get that organised and be alert to that. Crofts is a very good player in behind. She's quick, and she scored a bunch of goals as well. So as quickly as that, it can happen.
So Bulls, they might have had more possession and territory, but they've arguably given up the two best chances. Now they go back on the attack again. Hogarth Scott muscled off the ball by Hoban, hoping for Lancaster, but across comes Ferris. The former under-20 international, still only 21 years of age. Goes with a long ball here. Petria Phillips, a misplaced pass. And Alyssa Rose. Lancaster. Fragale. Nice little turn. Still has Tamira Souza to deal with, though. And that was emphatic from the Brazilian. And now Phillips goes to work and draws a foul. And little showdowns like that are so important, setting the tone of the game there. Souza just said, no, you don't, and won the ball away with a pretty emphatic tackle.
Yeah, really good challenge from Souza. They're the challenges that pump the team up, and that's what the Bulls need. But APIA get one back.
So we've seen Ferris already over one long free kick. Can she create havoc again? We saw Jess Seaman head it behind for a corner. And the centre-back here is going to be called off by her goalkeeper, Magus, with a double-fisted punch. Phillips has Fragale right on her case. Around the corner she goes. Tamira Souza. Now Claudia Valletta. And the header, well, it was a good energy up to win the header from Isabella Coco de Scipio, but not able to steer it on target.
The Bulls just persisting with sending that ball into the middle there, but Jess Seaman's just doing a really good job at handling all of those. I think they need to change it up to get a bit of success in and around the box there.
I'm sure they would have studied the tape from how APIA beat University of New South Wales in the semi-finals. A lot of corner kicks and long-range free kicks for UNSW that didn't come to much, and Jess Seaman was one of the reasons for that. Here's Dos Santos, now attacking from the left side. I just wonder if Bulls have already potentially switched their wingers here, or if players are just slowly working their way back to the formation they started the game in here. I suspect they might have switched Naomi and also Dos Santos with Coco de Scipio standing at centre forward, because Naomi is now making width over on the right side here. There's a bit of directing traffic going on. Jasmine Melly says to Naomi, go for a run, and then nearly linking up with Petria Phillips, and the ball finds its way out. So here we go. Janaea Dos Santos is finally now jogging back over to the right side, Teresa. It's always interesting whether, after a set piece, players sometimes have to go and take up a new position. It can take them quite a while to work their way back into the position, or whether they actually have swapped.
And that's where you can tell good teams, do they know each other's role? Because sometimes for a while you have to play a different position, as awkward as that can be.
Both teams think it's their throw, but APIA get the nod right in front of their technical area. So we've gone a quarter of an hour. Of course, if we don't find a winner within the 90, it'll be 30 minutes of extra time and then penalties if required. But right now it's APIA Leichhardt holding a 1-0 advantage. Liz Gray just sinks the slipper. Header from Seaman is now going to Dos Santos, combining with Naomi. Didn't like any of the options forward of the ball. Back to Ferris, and she's going to switch over to Claudia Valletta. She's got Coco de Scipio there with her as well, over on the left side. Valletta drifting forward. Wants to look further afield with a long-range cross, but didn't like any of the options. And now she's got into a tangle with Sophie Hoban and wins a throw-in. So the throw-in from Valletta. Dos Santos trying to break into the box, cleared away by Kilbride. Anna Hogarth-Scott out to Jasmine Melly. First time we've really seen the right back get forward today. And it's a low cross that's hugging the line and finding its way out for a goal kick. Let's check in with Will Constantinides down on the sideline. Will, are you hearing much from either of the coaches as they shout from the bench?
I think Marty Garces was incensed with an offside no call on that Ashcroft chance in behind just a moment ago. You might get the sense that he's maybe feeling his team might be getting caught out in behind a little bit. You can see that the Bulls are pressing forward at the moment with APIA keeping Crofts and Lancaster up there.
Interesting. I mean, from our position with the naked eye, it looked like Ashley Crofts was well and truly onside and possibly even starting inside her defensive half, but you always see it differently from the technical area. And a free kick here has left Jordan Jasnos a little bit sore. It didn't look like the most bloodthirsty challenge from Naomi, but the APIA left back, are we going to see the trainer called out for the first time today? She's remained down here and looking in a bit of pain.
Well, that's been a fiery duel between the two today. Hopefully Jasnos is okay and can continue to play.
Well, she's now lying on her back. The APIA bench doesn't look as though any of the medical staff are getting up. And you hear a cheer from the crowd as Jasnos gets back to her feet. A 23-year-old who has had a very brief experience in the A-League. She was part of the Wellington Phoenix team that spent their inaugural season down in Wollongong. He's, of course, an Australian, so they signed a couple of Aussies for that season during COVID. Speaking of former Phoenix players, here's Charlotte Lancaster playing the ball through to Sophie Hoban, who is twisting at the edge of the box. She's legged by Tamira Souza, and it's a free kick in a dangerous position. Very
dangerous position, and great ball forward from Lancaster. Once again, Hoban getting between the defenders there, causing all sorts of trouble, draws a great foul in a dangerous area.
And so a set-piece opportunity for APIA. They have brought Kilbride and Seaman forward from the centre of defence, leaving Jasnos and Fragale back as defensive cover. Three in the wall. Mio Nomoto definitely thinking that Alyssa Rose might go direct here. She does, and she scores! It's a great goal! Alyssa Rose makes it 2 for APIA Leichhardt. And you could see the apprehension in the Bulls' defence. How many to set in the wall, where the keeper should set up, and it's because Alyssa Rose had that in the boots.
I mean, you could almost feel that one coming, Teo. There was a sense about it, and she absolutely struck that perfectly. What a strike that was.
Well, the goalkeeper was just caught in no man's land, I think, in two minds about where to set up.
Yeah, top bins there, Teo. Fantastic strike.
And Nomoto, a great shot stopper, but definitely not the tallest keeper when it comes to dealing with crosses or cross shots, and ultimately the Bulls' defence, nothing they could do about that one dropping inside the side netting.
The technique on that, Teo, that dip, beautiful to see.
And the disappointment of the Bulls' bench as they fall 2-0 down. They may have had the better of general play, but APIA now have 2 goals in pocket, and even though it's only 20 minutes in, they're going to have to mount a massive comeback here. There's a bit of shirt grabbing going on. Fragale protests, but Patria Phillips with the bright white collar on the black shirt. There was no denying that she was getting grabbed there, and it's a free kick with the wind at their backs, maybe in shooting range here.
Well, we know Ferris has the range to put this away. She's got the wind behind her as well, so good opportunity here. But isn't the game of football a wonderful thing, Teo? You can be dominating a game and down 2-0.
Well, she has just the one goal this season, Ferris, having joined mid-campaign, coming back from the A-League. She is going to put this into the 6-yard box, and it's headed away. Kilbride came across, foiling a fellow centre-back, and as the ball runs out, it's going to be an APIA throw-in, so they've defended that situation well. It was Rose's 4th goal of the season, that strike. So as an attacking midfielder, she has been very influential on the turnaround of APIA's campaign, and now scoring in the grand final as well. Here goes Hoban, building a bit of a head of steam, and it's immediately stopped in its tracks by Liz Gray. Rose has a nibble, and Gray then goes in for the 50-50, and the deflection is a kind one. It's a Bulls throw in, and that's important from the Bulls to keep the ball down at their attacking end. Maintain the belief. If this game ends at 90 minutes, we're only a quarter of the way through the day's action.
That's right, if they can just crack through that APIA defence, and it's game on, Teo.
APIA might fancy their chances on the counter-attack. As the ball goes out, I can tell you that these teams, ever since Bulls won promotion in 2023, the first ever meeting was a 0-0, and then neither team has kept a clean sheet against each other since. So they do like to exchange goals, these two sides, regardless of the personnel they have lining up. Kilbride, Chico, looking to make an offensive impact on this game. The cross finds Ashley Crofts with a volley and held on one bounce by Namoto. Quick clearance. Phillips watches the ball bounce and rears up off the firm surface. Kilbride with a volley away. Now Tamira Souza sends it to Daniela Naimi. First time pass to Dos Santos. Souza, Phillips, and Jasnos guarding the left back corner very well. As shadows just start to creep out onto the ground for the first time today. Of course, this match part of a double header with the men's grand final, which will also be APIA Leichhardt taking on Rockdale Linden in the immediate following of the trophy presentation of this women's grand final. Crofts with a header, but straight to Ferris of Bulls Academy. And as we wait for the ball to be retrieved, it might give us a chance for us to just check in with Will Constantinides. Will, it's 2-0, but there seems to still be plenty of belief in the Bulls camp. What about the APIA camp? How have they responded to really putting one hand on the trophy even at this early stage?
Well, they're definitely feeling good, I can tell you that, Teo. Brad Attard, after a challenge just a moment ago, was looking towards the APIA crowd. He wants them right behind his team because they are making plenty of noise at the moment. Conversely, I think he's maybe a bit disappointed with some of the space that his team are giving up in midfield to the Bulls. They've been able to get forward, they just haven't had that major chance just yet.
And perhaps now they can build here. Naomi concedes a little bit of territory back to Valletta. Coco DeCipio. Valletta. The momentum trying to continue at the feet of Coco DeCipio. Chico went to ground, but Coco DeCipio kept her feet and now swings in across at close range, and Magus is sure-handed, denying Dos Santos a chance at the ball.
Yeah, Magus really read that play very well. She was off her line to intercept that cross from DeCipio.
Concern here, the trainer immediately up next to the fourth official as Isabella Coco DeCipio went to ground. She has been their top scorer this season, 17 goals. The only other player in double figures, along with Patria Phillips, is 10. So she's going to be vital if they are going to halve the deficit and grab one of these goals back.
Yeah, we just saw what she does very well. So if they can get Coco DeCipio onto that ball in transitions, getting those early crosses in, perhaps they can break their deadlock.
Foul here gives APIA the chance to go forward, though.
Can you get him to turn my volume up? It's a little soft, I don't know.
It's Alyssa Rose, the most recent goal scorer, who is going to stand over this long ranger here. Big pack of players ready to converge on the ball. Rose is going to drop it at the penalty spot. Confusion between defender and keeper, but as well that ends well as Liz Gray's header finds its way out to Naomi at right back. Naomi around Walker. Melly not able to advance any further. Throw in down the line. Petria Phillips against two APIA opponents. Here is Phillips. Unable to get past Fregale. Throw in taken by Melly. Jasnos. Gray heard the shout from Nemoto. Goes with a goal back to the back pass to the goalkeeper. Nemoto ignores all the short options. Goes for distance off the head of Coco DeCipio. Great flick header. Is Dos Santos away though? Still plenty of APIA defenders to deal with. Souza, just an underhit pass, which is intercepted by Alyssa Rose. And now Fregale sends it out towards Jasnos, who is well defended by Naomi, not allowed to break out into open space. Hoban, back pass. A little bit awkward for Walker, but Hoban's able to clean it up. And now Kilbride, no nonsense. However, Liz Gray is going to roam out onto the ball. She loses out. Hoban takes possession, and there's a gap to exploit at the back. Claudia Chico is away. Crofts waiting in the middle. Chico was looking for Crofts. Blocked once by Valletta. Chico follows up. Wiped out by Valletta. Legally, says the referee. Chico stays down, and Valletta leaves the scene.
Perfectly timed there from Valletta, and that was a crucial interception. Great challenge, but how quickly APIA are able to transition forward is a real threat.
I think it was a good call from the ref because Chico's the one that throws her body in and initiates the contact. And I think it looked spectacular, but Valletta was really just standing her ground.
Right. That's right, Teo. I think great call there. Good refereeing.
Chico breaking into the attacking half, though. Do you think about the shot on the tight angle there, or did she do the right thing trying to force the pass to Crofts in the middle?
Yeah, look, I think both are good options, and the thing was that Valletta was on task there.
So with treatment being administered, the Bulls have gone into former huddle. You're seeing shots of the crowd here. Let's go back down to Will. Will, free choice, your observations on the game so far, and as treatment is administered to Chico, we've only just seen the APIA subs come back from a warm-up, so are they thinking about who they might have to get ready should it be a worst-case scenario?
Yeah, they're definitely concerned about this one. Really the first time we've seen Claudia Chico get forward. She's known for her pace and her ability to push the width down the wing, and you could just see her lunging for that last one, sensing that she had a good opportunity inside the box. And now the subs are warming up, but for APIA's sake, they hope that she stays out there because I think she's really vital as this game goes on. We've seen it open up. There's more space out there as this first half has continued on. I think that's only going to become more and more open as this one continues.
I know they've got Tash Pryor on the bench, Will, but are you thinking if Chico can't go on here, Imogen Lane might be the player they bring on, even at this early stage?
Yeah, I would say so, Tay. Imogen Lane has played a bit of that wing-back position for APIA this season. She's got a lot of pace as well, so would be a similar sort of profile of player to bring on. I did speak to Brad Attard before the game, and I asked him about Tash Pryor and whether they were restricting her minutes and whether it was just a second half or a 30-minute situation for her, and he said that she was available for the full 90. So she's completely unleashed and ready if available. Interesting.
So Tash Pryor, no minute limitation on her. Chico, who's had a fairly serious foot injury 2 years ago now, but broken feet and feet injuries, Teresa, they can linger, they can remain in the memory as well. So whatever the ailment is here, Chico is still with the physio. APIA don't appear to be readying a sub. They're going to give her every chance of continuing on in this grand final.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry, that one, and like you said, with those kind of injuries, it's a mental thing, and sometimes they don't heal 100% ever. So we just saw her have a little bit of a jog, though. You know, possibly they're 2-0 up. They're probably just taking it very, very precautiously.
Well, they haven't even got a sub standing in the technical area. They're all still off warming up, so it must mean that they're confident Chico can go on here. Here she comes. And the injury may have been some time ago, but it did cost her her chance to go to the Under-20 World Cup, unfortunately, and she did clock a full summer in the A-League Women's for Newcastle, and they've got her under contract for the coming summer, so I'm sure they'll be watching on nervously as well, hoping that one of their young stars is okay.
Absolutely.
And she might have to do some defending here because the Bulls are looking to get back on the attack. Phillips, the pass, just a little skinny as it tried to find Jasmine Melly, and that means Fregale can intercept. It's a couple of ricochets and a corner kick, so a couple of times APIA have just been a little bit, I'm not sure what the right word for it is, generous, giving away corner kicks down, particularly in that right-hand corner, or left back as APIA see it. Dos Santos wasting no time. Couple of players go to ground. Souza around the corner, hits the post. And now an APIA player is legged. Walker fouled. And they will get out of danger. But Tamira Souza with a left-footed shot that hits the woodwork.
She was in the perfect position there. Really unfortunate for her, and she knows it. But it's one of those things that can get a team down. But, you know, it's a great opportunity. They've got to keep it coming. They've got to keep their heads up and continue to go at APIA.
Well, for a game which has a 2-0 scoreline, it feels like it's far more in the balance than the score might suggest, because the Bulls, they do look dangerous when they... And Tamira Souza, who's found the back of the net 5 times this season, the width of the post away from making it number 6. Now bringing the ball to ground for Valletta. Okay. But Chico covering the rest of every step of the way. The ball spilled at the end of the box. Scott is knocked out. Play continued. Waiting for the pistol to go. Would have been in prime shooting range. And instead, APIA are able to escape with the throw. So again, Bulls here to have a threat for 20 minutes to play with before half time. Cut back one of these 2 goals, but that's going to be gone for them yet so far. Expertly. And here's Dos Santos. Over to Melly. Gray. Never afraid to take on the game. A little bit helter-skelter as Tamira Souza just gifts the ball back to APIA. Jess Seaman onto the head of Hogarth Scott. And Coco DeCipio back into the middle. Anna Hogarth Scott making a run. And then just tried to force the pass a little bit, but you can see what the intention was there.
It's not on the same page there with Phillips, but a bit of frustration perhaps starting to creep in for the Bulls.
Still 10 minutes of regulation until halftime. You can see the stands starting to fill as part of a double header. The crowd should swell over the course of the game as those more with an affinity for Rockdale start to make their way in. Of course, if you're near the ground, still plenty of football to enjoy today, so why not come down for a look? It's a perfect day for it. Here's Naomi. So the throw in from the right side. Daniela Naomi. And Jasnos not allowing any progression, and again just gets a little nick off Melly and is able to win a throw in here. APIA just trying to get their protagonists to spend a bit more time on the ball. feels as though for the two goal scorers, as influential as they've been on the game, they want Hoban and Rose to enjoy a bit more possession. They just can't find either of them at the moment, the two midfielders. Case in point, here's Hogarth Scott wearing Hoban like a glove, and Hoban is able to shake her off and burst into the attacking half. Can she go any further though? Needs the support from Chico, who appears to be moving freely now. Hoban can't thread it through the gap, and well, right on cue, we had Hoban on the ball and Rose nearly involved again.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of joy in those transitions in the front third, but like you said, Teo, they want their key players controlling the game more. And set pieces, that's their way of controlling the tempo.
Can they manage this 2-0 lead to half-time? Will the Bulls have another burst of energy before the break? Magus here under perceived pressure more than anything from Phillips, who was some distance away from the clearance. Souza and Lancaster battle, and now Dos Santos, Naomi. Well, it was courageous from Naomi. She saw Lancaster coming at her at full speed and didn't take a backward step and won the foul. So can they keep things unpredictable here? It looks as though they're sending the tall players forward. Gemma Ferris standing over the free kick. They've had a few attempts at this so far. Can they turn it into a meaningful chance? It's going to land just in front of the penalty spot. Second ball is on, nicked away by Rose very cleverly. Runs into trouble in the form of Phillips. Now Souza bursts through. Tamira Souza wins a free kick in shooting range. And APIA just couldn't clear their lines there.
No, they couldn't, and Souza with brilliant footwork there draws that foul. Here's their opportunity.
It was one of those ones, though. I mean, it's not. It was almost telegraphed, like Tamira Souza charges.
You could see it coming.
She charges in looking for the foul, and APIA do enough to find it. You know. So, as we take a look back at Alyssa Rose's earlier goal from a free kick, that was 2-0. Now, are the Bulls going to respond with a set-piece special of their own?
This would be a timely goal, Teo.
It's Petria Phillips standing solo over this set-piece opportunity. APIA with a packed defensive wall and Magus waiting on the line. Is this Bulls moment to halve the deficits? It's an anti-climax as that one caught the breeze and just kept rising. Now, there are 6 minutes until half-time, but it might still feel like a long 6 minutes here for APIA as the Bulls try to trap them in their defensive half. Hoban against Gray. Shoulder to shoulder, sets Chico away on the right. Chico, first-time ball, can't quite bend it to the advantage of Crofts. And Valletta sees it to the safety of the line.
Yeah, it's that left side of the Bulls' defence once again, just not handling those transitions, not reading the play quick enough to organise.
And an up and under header here is easy pickings for Namoto. Puts the ball into the attacking half. Jasnos ducks underneath a bouncing ball. Coco DeCipio will challenge here. Jasnos, the assistant referee's flagging, saying a bit of interference from Isabella Coco DeCipio, and you see their good sportsmanship. I mentioned that so many of these players know each other from being ex-teammates. Coco DeCipio is a pretty fearsome competitor, but even she concedes having given away the free kick here. So Jessica Seaman will drive the ball long from the defensive half into the attacking. Lancaster brings it down. And Tamira Souza is booked. High boot, I suspect, for just leaving it in for a bit of contact on Charlotte Lancaster there. And we've had to wait until the 41st minute, but we do see the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, pretty disciplined game so far, but the ref had to produce a yellow there, and Souza's got to be careful now the rest of the game.
Well, she's been booked in the last two games, Tamira Souza, with fairly hefty challenges that were a little bit orange rather than just yellow, but that one a little bit more clear cut, and it didn't have any lasting impact on the player she fouled. She'll have to tread the line. Head clash here. Referee's going to whistle play dead, and that was Liz Gray leaning in for Bulls. I I haven't quite got the player that has been
Looked
flawed
to
here
me
for
like
APIA.
Jess Seaman, her counterpart. Those players.
I think you're spot on here. Of course, they were great teammates last season at Bulls Academy. So, not just great teammates, but great friends. So it's really unfortunate that they've gone leaning into each other here, and they've both wiped each other out.
They did, and we know both aerial threats there. Both went for that ball. Hopefully they're okay and can get up and continue.
Marty Garces has called the Bulls over for a little powwow here. 3 minutes of regulation until half-time, plus whatever there will be allocated in stoppage. Let's throw it down to Will Constantinides on the sideline. Will, both benches knew it was serious the moment it happened. What's your bird's eye view from down there at ground level of the two players as they're receiving treatment?
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a head clash between the two, and just getting the sense down here at pitch side, the Bulls have come more and more into the half, despite the fact they're conceding. I think the observation you made earlier, Teo, was spot on, that despite the 2-0 scoreline, the Bulls have been consistently piling on pressure, and I think of the two teams, APIA might be a little happier that this is kind of slowing down towards the back end of this half. If they can get into the sheds at 2-0, they'll be very happy considering some of the pressure that they've had to sustain. And it looks like Jess Seaman and Liz Gray exchange a bit of a hug, two former teammates, so no ill intent either way. And for the sake of the game and for the sake of two fantastic players, I hope they get back out there. It's been a great game between the two of them. The only thing I will say, though, is Liz Gray is being forced to cover a lot of ground coming off the defensive line, which has left them a little exposed at times, especially when Sophie Hoban looks to turn.
What a great moment of sportsmanship. Thank you, Will. What a great moment of sportsmanship we've just seen here between Liz Gray and Jess Seaman. I mentioned that they were teammates and great friends, and they were arm in arm. They're embracing each other almost apologetically as they came from the pitch.
What a wonderful thing to see, and we know they're great mates, and that respect stays out there on the pitch on such an occasion. Fantastic stuff.
Well, Gray is waved straight back on. You wonder, is it a nose or a teeth problem here for Jess Seaman, because she's still got her hand up to her face. None of the subs are being readied, so we think she's going to be okay to continue. But this could be crucial, 10 versus 11, with a minute of regulation to go, plus what we expect now will be a chunk of stoppage at the end of the first half. APIA would love to just keep the ball, and as Jess Seaman is waved back on, that would suggest there's no blood flowing, thankfully. Maybe the shock and the soreness of a blow to the nose or the teeth, but thankfully, seemingly, no serious damage.
Yeah, definitely. I think it often feels when you get knocked in the nose and the teeth that you worry they could be missing those teeth, but good to see both players back on the pitch.
It is 11 versus 11, so Bulls barely got possession while they had that one-player advantage. Here is Seaman, straight back on the ball. It's a grand final. No one wants to be subbed out and leave the game, especially when your team's up 2-0, which is the case for APIA here. Jasnos not able to advance any further, though. It's the one thing perhaps missing from her game today. We haven't seen Jordan Jasnos really unleashed to take the game on. It's interesting that so much of APIA's joy has come down that right-hand side. They've been willing to take risks as we go into 3 minutes of additional time. Thank you to fourth official Mia Valade for hoisting the board, but confusion here for Agale. Maybe heard a shout that didn't make itself clear who it was, as Dos Santos puts it into the area, and Naomi not really able to bring the ball under her control. But what a confounding phase of play there. And I guess players in a grand final in front of maybe the biggest crowd they've seen this year, you might hear a voice or a shout that leaves you a little disoriented.
Well, I think Naomi right there, I think that's the reason we're not seeing Jasnos bombing forward, because APIA getting that joy on their right side, and she's having to deal with her duels on this left side. So the Bulls are building up well. They're just not able to capitalise.
So the ball is cleared out for a throw-in. We are getting closer to the half-time break. One of the 3 additional minutes has ticked by. Throw-in from Chico. Hoban able to peel off the defenders and put it into the box, but there's no one there for APIA attacking the ball, and Nomoto is able to grab it. Hard up against the line. Sprints to the edge of the box. And launches long. No one there contesting for Bulls. Uncontested volley for Seaman only as far as Tamira Souza. Now Naimi to Valletta. Can the Bulls score before the halftime break? Time their enemy. Phillips. Valletta cuts it inside. Naimi can't advance any further. That will take us into the last minute of 3 additional. What do you think the halftime team talk is for the Bulls, Teresa? They're the team that's got to find a response.
Yeah, look, two goals, one on transition, but I think the main thing will be dealing with those counter-attacks from APIA. That's what's kind of undone them today. Their build-up's been really good. I think they need to keep going, and hopefully they can break their deadlock.
And APIA, do you keep it quiet? Do you go for a G-up? I mean, you've got 2 goals buffer here.
Look, it's always dangerous if they're to come out in the second half and straight away, wind that clock down. I think they're going to come out and still go for it. It's worked for them. And then there'll be a particular point if the scores stay the same.
Cross here to Mira Souza, just wide. And that would have been the perfect end to the half. Coco DeCipio's cross in. And it's out for a goal kick. And that is an agonising end of the half where Bulls have had the chances but not the finishing touch.
That's right, that's an example moment, isn't it? It sums up the Bulls' half.
And with that goal kick, we tick over 3 additional minutes at the end of the first half. What a start for APIA. They are currently on track to win NPL Women's New South Wales and become the champions. Goals from Sophie Hoban and Alyssa Rose have them in the ascendancy. And the halftime score here at Jubilee Stadium is APIA Leichhardt 2, leading Bulls Academy 0. Teresa Polias, former Matilda, your halftime thoughts?
Yeah, look, a dream start for APIA, but this game has all the signs that there could be a massive comeback from the Bulls. They've been really good in the build-up. All that's missing is scoring. So a very, very interesting and crucial halftime talk for both teams, and it'll be really interesting to see how each team comes out, how they approach the second half.
And we'll go down to Will Constantinides because, Will, you've got the players walking off right in front of you. Sum up the body language, sum up the vibe as the players make their way into the rooms for what will be one last team talk in 2025. I don't think we got him. We haven't got Will. We are going to throw to the halftime break. The Dash for Cash is coming up. Stay with us. You're watching the NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final for 2025. Don't forget the men's follow this one right here where you're watching on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel.
The players are out. They are lining up. Let's hear it. A reminder we have for APIA, Violet Keelan, for the Bulls FC Academy, Madison Barwise, for the Gladesville Ravens, Alyssa Ungsard, for the Illawarra Stingrays, Annabella Keefe, for Manly United, Sienna Dale, for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers, Rakaya Alfarage, for the Northern Tigers, Phoebe Hancock, and for UNSW, Stephanie Tour. The players are all getting set. 18 yards to 18 yards to find out who is the fastest in the NPL New South Wales women's competition. $1,000 on the line for Kappa Australia, not just bragging rights. A nice handy cash prize as well. The players are being readied. This is it. Let's get nice and loud for our sprinters here. All right. And we're off. Alyssa inside, coming off the inside. There is Sienna Dale on the right. Sienna Dale is looking strong for the finish. It's close between Sienna Dale and Annabella Keep. Oh, I don't know if we have a photo finish here. We're waiting confirmation as to who has got the prize. Who has it? The officials are conferring. It is close. It is close. It is close. Do we have a winner? Oh, we're going to have to go to Damo's camera here. It is actually a photo finish. Damien Briggs, everyone, our star photographer. It is close. Having a look. It really is a photo finish. This is as close as you'll ever see it.
Rerun.
We're still checking. We're still checking. We're still checking. Man. All right, we have our winner. It is Sienna Dale from Manly United. Sienna, let's have a quick chat, Sienna. Over here, over here. So, tell me, how do you feel? Fastest in the competition?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, you know, I did a lot of training for it, you know, lots of runs this week. Yeah.
I mean, away from just the sprinting, your season's also been quite remarkable. You've had a bit of a comeback yourself.
Yeah.
How is it, no, not just about this race, but the season, how does it feel, you know, coming out here on a great day like this?
You know, it wasn't much warning, but I was like, you know, get to come watch the game. It's pretty cool. I only played half a season, but I did a lot of like strength, my gym, like my physio and all that. Did a lot of stuff in the gym, and it really helped with my speed coming back, actually.
Now, aside from winning and being crowned fastest in the competition, you've got $1,000 coming your way thanks to Kappa Australia. Any ideas on what you might spend the cash on?
I actually have no idea. You know, some football stuff, I guess. Yeah.
All right, we have Paul, the general manager of Kappa, here to present the $1,000. Let's hear it for Sienna Dale. All the runners in as well, please. A big photo. Let's hear for all our sprinters today in the Kappa Dash for Cash.
Jubilee Stadium in Sydney. It's NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final Day in 2025. And as the two teams make their way back out onto the pitch for the second half, it is currently APIA Leichhardt enjoying a 2-0 lead against Bulls Academy. Teo Pellizzeri and former Matilda Teresa Polias with you for this one. And Teresa, looks like Avani Prakash has appeared out of the tunnel for Bulls, so we're going to see at least one sub to start the second half. I'll do the quick head count to try and work out who's made way, but as we were discussing, the comeback is on, but the Bulls have got to execute if they want to make it.
They do, and I do think they need Prakash out there, so a good attacking change there. I think she'll bring a different dynamic and keep a calmness and decision-making around that box as well for the Bulls.
Fourth official is just looking at the paperwork here, because APIA, have they made a change as well? They're currently discussing matters with the bench. If you've only joined us at half-time, as we kick off the second half here at Jubilee, it is a case of early goals from Sophie Hoban and then also Alyssa Rose from a free kick. And, well, the change at halftime was one we had speculated about. It's the defensive midfielder Anna Hogarth-Scott, who has come off at halftime for perhaps the more attacking-minded Avani Prakash. So Prakash on the ball right here, currently a free agent after the demise of Western United, unfortunately for her and all her club mates. But as a young Matilda, we know she's got a lot of talent, a great technician, and it's a more attacking mindset in that midfield for the second half.
Yes, certainly. I think she'll settle the ball down, but bring a sense of calm decision-making in and around that area as well. So look forward to seeing what she brings.
Long free kick lands at the penalty spot. APIA have brought on Tash Pryor at half-time, so that was the sub that they have waved through, and great to have the capped Matilda out there. I see her father Spencer Pryor is taking his seat in the grandstand here at the start of the second half, and it looks as though it is for Jess Seaman, who took that heavy knock at the end of the first half, Teresa. So it's a big decision, but I guess if you were going to take out a player as important as Seaman, it's pretty good to have a Matilda sitting on the bench as the alternative option.
Yeah, first and foremost, hopefully Jessica Seaman is okay and does recover from that clash. But yeah, what a player to be able to bring on in a grand final, in any game really, but massive for APIA.
Jasnos with the restart here, skimming into midfield to the most recent of the scorers, Alyssa Rose. She sets the ball off out in front of Lancaster. Lancaster with a sweeping cross to the near post, and nearly making ground was Crofts. It's picked up by Mio Nomoto at the near post. The one thing Bulls definitely can't afford is to concede a third. As much as we've talked up the possibility of a comeback, APIA hitting on the counter, or from a set piece like this, does open the door to them putting, well, maybe a second hand on the trophy. They've got one on it at present. Yeah,
2-0, Tay. I think Bulls are certainly in it. I think a third goal against them, though, would pretty much almost hand it to APIA.
And Alyssa Rose from considerably further out, but on a similarly acute angle here, is going to swing this into the penalty area. Can it create havoc amongst the Bulls Academy defence? Rose driving it high, overall and sundry, and as the ball bounces out for a goal kick for the first time in the second half, let's throw it down to Will Constantinidis on the sideline. Will, we've seen a change for both teams. We think it's tactical for Bulls Academy, but have you got more to the story behind the APIA change for Jessica Seaman coming off?
Yeah, I had a bit of a wander over. Jess Seaman was over here just a moment ago, and it seemed like she was gesturing to others and APIA officials that it was about her nose, so whether they just wanted to take that as a precaution. And I also may have overheard that this may potentially be her last game. So hopefully, we'll wait for further confirmation of that. But hopefully for everyone, APIA do get the job done here today, and they can celebrate with Jess Seaman.
Thank you, Will. So yeah, the concern over the nose from the first half continuing to linger through the half-time break, thus the change that's been made. As we see a bouncing ball in midfield here, which Tamira Souza and Estelle Fregale and Petria Phillips are all battling for. Through comes Jasnos, and that will spill it to Fregale, who can go back to Pryor. Turns and plays it back past Magus. Able to stop the ball and safely play it out to Estelle Fregale. She's caught in possession though. Tamira Souza turned right back into trouble. And the ball finds its way out for an APIA throw-in. Bulls are incensed. Marty Garces down in the technical area is not happy. So the acrimony continues as APIA have the ball and a restart. You made a very interesting point right before the half-time break about when APIA might start to slow things down and be tempted into going a bit too defensive. You don't want them to fall into that trap too early.
Yeah, look, I think on throw-ins that they're not in a hurry, but in actual gameplay, things seem to be normal at the moment. I don't think they'd be silly enough to slow it down on the pitch, but certainly throw-ins, they're in absolutely no hurry, and they haven't been all game, really.
Lancaster brings down the throw-in. Prakash. Lancaster nicks the ball away. Crofts can't get past Gray. And played out in front of Melly. Jasmine Melly to Daniela Naimi. Waiting for the ball to arrive. Trying to get the better of two midfield opponents there. Couldn't find a way through, but it falls kindly to Ferris. Petria Phillips knocked off the ball. Jasnos can't quite set Lancaster away. Jasnos on the ball. Magus. Kilbride, bit of a hot potato. You see APIA passing themselves into a bit of trouble here. And Hoban is the player to get them out of it with a nice little turn into space. Walker. Her path blocked. We haven't seen a great deal of Mona Walker on the ball as a defensive midfielder. She's been largely guarding space rather than driving play. She might be called upon here to do some defending because Dos Santos plays the ball to Phillips, and yep, there is Walker standing in the road. Now Prakash goes to ground, and it's a free kick in shooting range, and the Bulls have a promising set piece.
And that's what you're going to see from Prakash. She's a nippy player. She's got a great touch and cuts across her defender there, draws that foul in a really good area.
We saw in the first half Petria Phillips from slightly closer in sent a free kick well over the bar. This is a more central position, and it looks as though Tamira Souza is the player charged with trying to find the net. She hit the woodwork in the first half. A big APIA wall covers the entire top of the penalty area as Tamira Souza drifts it out, and that is two very disappointing free kicks from Bulls either side of half-time.
And that was an interesting one. You had Phillips to the right, unopposed, unmarked. A simple little pass there would have opened up a free shot on goal, but Souza decides to go for it. And yes, disappointing outcome again.
Here's the goal kick, though, from Magus. It might be coming back in a dangerous fashion. Naomi was knocked off the ball. Look at Hoban. She is making this grand final her own here. Sophie Hoban plays it into the middle. The pass not able to match the run. Intercepted by Souza. Sets Dos Santos a task. Dos Santos hustles to keep the ball in. Not much on ahead of play, though. Lots of APIA shirts back in defence. Here's Prakash. And Avani Prakash now out to Daniela Naimi. First time cross. It bounces through the 6-yard box. Can't get a goal-bound touch, though. And Coco DeCipio was the player at the near post that took a bit of a fresh air swing at a volley. As it's cleared away by Alyssa Rose. And, well, this might suit APIA because the game is stretching and they're going to be able to hit on the counter-attack the more numbers that Bulls Academy commit forward.
They are, and a few more turnovers from the Bulls. I don't think their passes are hitting the targets enough or at the same level as they did in the first half. So they'll need to tweak that if they're going to score, if they're going to want to score.
Another free kick here. Do you find it interesting that the Bulls really don't believe in the quickly taken free kick? Every time they win an attacking half a set piece, they go and set up.
It's an interesting one, too, because they're so good in the run of play that simple pass and go would get things going for them.
Valletta has snuck out the left. Ferris is going to drop it at the edge of the 6-yard box, looking for a skim header. Gray was up against Pryor, and Pryor firmly won the header out for a throw.
I mean, to be fair, they've got great target players like Gray, but to mix things up here and there and be a bit more unpredictable, you'd think they'd throw that short set piece in here or there.
Claudia Valletta's throw Naimi out of the box with the pass back. Souza, Prakash. Can they find the right pass to unlock the APIA defence? Avani Prakash able to pick the pocket of Lancaster. Goes to ground. Penalty. No hesitation from the referee Charlotte Flynn. And the halftime sub, Avani Prakash, has won the penalty that is sending Bulls to the spot.
Game changer, Teo. She's an absolute game changer. Really crafty in and around that box. And we saw the give and go there. Got it back. Drew in two defenders. Drew the foul. Brilliant stuff from Prakash.
Bulls wasting no time. Tamires Souza has marked out her run-up. She was the player of the season with more than 40 goals that helped them win promotion into NPL Women's. And now she is trying to score in a grand final in the top flight. It's Tamires Souza, and it's Bulls back in business. 2-1 the score. And the Brazilian Tamires Souza is fired up after halving the deficit. And there's even a Brazilian flag over on the sideline for the celebration.
Just brilliant, Teo. She steps up, so confident. You could see the air about her.
Got to be careful. She is on a yellow card and she's brought a prop onto the field. So fourth official and the assistant referee look at each other and maybe they'll let it. I don't want to be a policeman here, but
let it go.
In the passion of the moment, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I think they've made the right choice there, and the comeback is on, Teo.
Wow, what a moment for Souza. It all happened so quickly from the moment the foul was given to the penalty taken, and now kick-off. Bulls, they're in a rush. They're wasting no time at all. Let's go down to the sideline. Will Constantinidis, what was your view there of Avani Prakash winning that penalty kick to get the Bulls Academy back in the game?
Yeah, Avani Prakash, since she's come on, she's finding pockets of space that weren't there in the first half. A great introduction by Marty Garces, and on that occasion just got between two APIA defenders that were in two minds about making a challenge. In the end, just a outstretched leg which Avani Prakash took with great delight, and a good penalty by Souza as well. And I'm right in front of where the Bulls FC Academy fans are, and I can barely hear you, Teo. So there is plenty of noise, and if there was momentum behind the Bulls in the first half, well, they have it again in the second.
Thank you to Will Constantinidis down in front of the Bulls fans on the sideline. Hopefully he can hear us next time we cross down to him, as play continues aggressively in midfield, and Prakash draws another free kick, this time from Mona Walker. And it is a free kick, and well, the momentum is definitely swinging one way in this contest. It's APIA. They have the lead, but they need a bit of a circuit break. Oh, it's a utter confusion here. Was that a drop ball, a contested drop ball that the referee has called for? And now APIA seems to have the free kick.
You would have thought it was a Bulls free kick there. I did think that Prakash was dragged down there, but not the case. Bit of confusion.
Well, Charlotte Flynn, the referee, needs to take back control of the game here. Got the referee assesses Casey Rybelt, very experienced referee in the house today. And of course they all have the earpiece and the communications among each other. The third team, Marty Garces's ongoing dialogue with the fourth official continues as the ball is down at left back as far as Bulls Academy see. Can't lose sight of the fact that it's still APIA in the lead. They're the ones that right now have the ascendancy. There are the subs on the bench. Hannah McNulty, a midfielder. Gisela Pepino, a winger. Imogen Lane, versatile, but maybe a fullback. And Ashley Brodigan, an attacker who can be deployed on the wing as well. Here's the sub that did come on at half-time prior, dealing with a bit of backspin. Up against Daniela Naimi. The fans wanted handball, and then a hard foul on Prakash. And she's sent sprawling by Geordie Jasnos. And it's a free kick. Well, both teams are really refereeing each other here. I am at a loss as to how this is.
Was it simulation? Is that
APIA
the call
ball
there? But there's no yellow card given. Was it offside?
Well, maybe it's coming back for a bit of arms locked or grabbing before Prakash was knocked to the ground. Anyway, it's an APIA ball. Long onto the head of Lancaster. Crofts chasing it out to the right side, and Liz Gray, her shadow, is able to put it out for a throw-in. APIA would love to score against the run here, restore the 2-goal buffer. It might be enough to break the Bulls' spirit if they can score again, but Petria Phillips has got them moving into attack. Coco DeCipio linking up. And an underhit pass, can't find Prakash as Walker comes in to intercept.
Well, Prakash is the go-to player at the moment. You can see why. She's brought a different dynamic to the game.
Oh, Alyssa Rose becomes the first APIA player in the book. And of course she was sent off the last time the two teams met. So she has to watch her step. Second yellow card of the game.
It's getting a bit spicy out there, Teo. You love to see it. It does make the game interesting, but I think both teams need to be very, very careful.
Well, coming up to the hour mark, you wonder if that might force the hand of Brad Attard on the APIA sideline, with Alyssa Rose now on a card. She'll have to just modify her game. Here's Hoban. Plays it through a gap for Crofts. It's Ashley Crofts steadying, and Namoto at close range is able to drag the ball in. It looked like Crofts had freed the feet, but she wasn't able to get it past the keeper, who was right there with her.
Namoto's been on in this second half. That's another crucial save from her.
Two vital moments either side of halftime where Mio Namoto has foiled Ashley Crofts. As the ball is on the sideline for Bulls Academy. Jasmine Melly caught in possession. Hoban is trying to single-handedly win this grand final for APIA, but the pass is intercepted by Liz Gray. And now she sends it long, but Coco DeCipio is trapped in an offside position. Let's run quickly through the Bulls Academy other remaining subs of the outfielders. Maya Khalil, Ruby Davies, Grace Johns and Jade Guichon. The oldest of which, Teresa, is 19 years old. So they have a young bench with lots of fresh legs, but I think they'll trust the team they've got out there for a bit of time to come.
I think you're right, Teo. I think it's a young bench. I think as long as everyone stays healthy out there, I don't think we'll see a change unless they're forced to.
Here is Jasmine Melly. Back to Tamira Souza. Patria Phillips. Look at the build-up play. Prakash. Late contact from Fagale. Oh, and the referee blows the whistle now. And Patria Phillips thought that advantage had been taken. And the funny thing is, bringing it back for the free kick kind of gives them two bites for the cherry. So I don't think anyone's happy here. APIA think that Bulls have taken their advantage and Phillips wanted to take the advantage.
That's so true, Teo. I think the ref saw that heavy touch from Phillips and you can see why she called it back. So I do think it was a good call, and it ended up being a crucial deflection for Phillips there.
Gemma Ferris wastes no time over the free kick, whipped into the 6-yard box. Prakash off the post, and now Dos Santos blocked at close range. Patria Phillips frees the feet. Oh, it's just wide to the left. 3 shots in quick succession, and the width of the post again saves APIA.
Once again, the fortunes just are not on the side of the Bulls at the moment in terms of those close range opportunities that have hit the post.
And Avani Prakash, we've called it the game changer, but nearly finding the back of the net on that occasion. Now we've got a player down here for APIA. The trainer is coming out. Here's the thing, they still need to score. APIA is still the team in the lead. With the pure eye test, it doesn't look like it, but APIA are the ones who can benefit from a break and play like this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the first half the Bulls dominate possession, and going forward they were good, and it didn't matter to APIA. They did what they do well, very good as they usually do, and in transition capitalised. So, but at this point in the game, when fatigue starts to set in, I do think APIA are on notice, and perhaps on throw-ins they'll be a little more urgent now.
We have passed the hour mark and there's no further activity on the bench. Makis was right there next to the post, but it hit flush off the woodwork, that chance for Avani Prakash. So treatment has been administered. Of course, Prakash has been busy with Young Matildas and Future Matildas program commitments, so 12 appearances, 5 starts. This is her 13th appearance of the season today. She hasn't actually scored a goal this NPL season. That would have been the perfect time to come up with one. As we see Dos Santos winning the ball off Lancaster, and then a quick 1-2 with Gray. Phillips, closed down by Frigale. Valletta. Has the ball run away from her? It has. APIA throw in.
In terms of organisation for APIA, we've got to note that the absence of Jess Seaman, I think that APIA are feeling it out there.
Well, it's a common voice, isn't it? It's someone who's been there and knows the game inside out of every teammate, whereas as much as Tash Pryor is coming back from a higher level, it's only her second appearance of the season. Chico here, taking the throw in for APIA. Shadows creeping almost a third of the way across the pitch now. Still beautiful weather. Expect the tempo to stay high, especially if Bulls are the ones chasing the game and it's APIA in front. Flick header on by Dos Santos. Frigale has really put her foot and her head in where it's needed today. Decision time here, hard against the line and cleared by Kilbride. Bit of consternation about whether she should have turned inside or cleared it down the line.
I think she was going for the deflection there. Put her hand up for it, but no one was fooled in that case.
Errant touch from Dos Santos, and that again allows APIA to take the sting out of things with a throw in. Chico, Crofts with a flick header. Coco de Scipio, to Gray, who's up in midfield ever so briefly. You wonder at what minute the plan is to throw her forward. Perhaps still a bit early days for that just yet. Pryor, as Phillips is buzzing around. Now Frigale backs herself to take the game on and does so successfully. Rose. Diagonal ball, a good one. Now Lancaster has Crofts on in the middle, and Nomoto intervenes. I think Crofts and Lancaster were both making sure they were onside there, but Mio Nomoto made the ball her objective and came out to collect.
And that's where the Bulls have been vulnerable, that transition. The APIA players sitting high on that line, they haven't really dealt with that play. Very fortunate there. Nomoto steps up once again. She's had a fantastic second half so far.
Got to say that Mio Nomoto, like any good goalkeeper, just wiped the slate clean after conceding the second goal from the free kick and has stepped up with some crucial saves ever since. Valletta's throw, Dos Santos, surrounded by opponents, but none of them right on her case. Everyone's standing off Prakash at the moment. They know she can draw a foul. Even Frigale just watches, but the pass sold to Mires Souza into a bit of trouble. Ferris trying to hold up Hoban, and now has help. Grace gone to her knees though, and through comes Prakash and wipes out Hoban. Well, she was the little pocket rocket there, Ravani Prakash, and Hoban perhaps right to protest to the ref that it should be more. And the most diminutive player on the pitch is not taking a backward step.
Well, I think for Prakash, she's kind of trying to match what she's getting, what she's receiving out there, and probably lucky not to receive a yellow there, but
Hoban has bounced back up. That initial contact really took the wind out of her. Chico's free kick flicked on by Crofts. Ferris and Nomoto work it out between the pair. They keep it away from Mona Walker. Out to Naomi on the wing. Hoban back pass. And Dos Santos nearly catching Kilbride in possession, but was able to execute the back pass. And off the head of Crofts, it runs down to Nomoto. APIA subs are off warming up. All the Bulls subs are seated at the moment. As we push towards the 70-minute mark with APIA still leading 2-1. Dos Santos saw Daniela Naimi. Naimi is shooting from distance. Magus at full stretch, but didn't need to put the gloves on it as it goes wide. And the crowd continues to chant, Will Constantinides, let's come down to you. Not a great deal of activity on the bench just yet. Who do you think will be the next to blink?
Well, I think APIA have to be the next Teo. They are really on the ropes right now. I think what Bulls are finding a lot of success with is down their left-hand side. APIA are actually pushing Claudia Chico a little further forward at times, and Bulls tend to start their moves down their left wing in recognition of that, and then all the APIA defence from there have to shift over, and then that's where they found Danny Naimi in the middle of the park once the midfield had shifted. So I think APIA, they have to do something here. I think they're the ones that need to score more than the Bulls right now, despite the fact they're up a goal.
Thank you to Will down on the sideline, keeping an eye on things for when those subs might arrive. Here goes Alyssa Rose. Her goal is currently the match winner. Sets a task for Lancaster. Runs onto the ball, and Gray right there on her case, but didn't put the ball out. Lancaster is going to whip it in. Does it bend back towards the target? Namoto bats it down and catches on one bounce. Prakash bending past. Jasnos has got up into the attacking half to take on Naimi. And Jasnos will not let Naimi past. Walker against Phillips. And the ball does find its way out. So throw in from the right side of midfield as Bulls Academy see it. I think they're getting a double change ready, and last week's goal scoring hero from the semi-final, Jade Guichon, might be about to come on. So the paperwork has gone in down on the sideline for Bulls Academy. So
Calling on the youngsters, Teo.
they're going to keep chasing the game here. Ball has found its way out in the meantime over on the left-hand side. Good to see some enthusiastic ball kids out there in the bibs, keeping the game moving. Jasnos with the throw. Lancaster brings it down. Game stuck in a holding pattern at the moment. Throw in clearance, throw in clearance. Now into the middle. Hoban turns past Gray, but not past Ferris. Gray able to find her stride, and then left the ball behind. Walker comes through for Apia. It's taken a deflection off Melly, and so Melly had to keep it in to avoid giving up the ball. Ferris twisting with the clearance. Through comes Jasnos, and Jasnos is going to go into the referee's book, so she joins Alyssa Rose as Apia players on a yellow card for that foul.
We saw Liz Gray bomb on once again, and that's characteristic of her game, and however advantageous that is for the Bulls, it can leave them vulnerable, but they did well to hold their own there and drew that foul from Jasnos there, and a yellow too, so 2 pluses there for the Bulls.
Free kick taken by Ferris. Dos Santos, the most advanced attacker, cleared by Jasnos, only as far as Prakash. Melly sliding the ball through the right channel. Dos Santos takes possession and is outpointed by Pryor against the line. So a goal kick, and is that going to bring about these substitutions? It is for Bulls. Apia are getting Hannah McNulty ready in their own technical area. So the board is up, and it looks like it's the end of the afternoon for Tamira Souza and also Daniela Naimi. So Tamira Souza, the goal scorer, comes off, and it's going to be Maya Khalil and also Jade Guichon coming on. Khalil, 19 years old, was a Sydney Olympic junior before joining the Bulls in 2023, and Jade Guichon, who scored her first goal of the season last weekend in the semi-final, only 17 years old, the former Manly United junior. So they've entrusted a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old to be the fresh legs and the new ideas coming on here.
Yeah, great to see fresh legs out there. 2 key players come off, but on come 2 emerging talents.
And Khalil, an immediate involvement in the game. Phillips. And the referee says that it's Phillips who's dragged Walker to ground there. And now Apia will make their sub in response. Who is McNulty going to come on for here? Central referee seemingly not waving through this sub just yet. So one more phase of play for Apia. Tash Pryor to take the free kick. As it bounces on, it's all Bulls, and Namoto is able to collect. Ferris. Guishon chasing and safety first from Pryor to head it out for a throw-in. Prakash. Melly. Now Avani Prakash sees Phillips. Phillips drives the cross into Pryor. It's tumbling at the edge of the box. It's another penalty. A tangle of legs, and Sophie Hoban is motionless as the Bulls players celebrate. They are going to the penalty spot for the second time in this half.
This is huge, Teo. A second penalty. I mean, it certainly, by the way the Bulls player fell there, it looked like there was contact. There certainly was. I think it's a really good call from the referee. Smart play around the box there from the Bulls.
And again, no time wasted over the penalty kick. It's Claudia Valletta. And it's the Bulls level. 2-2 the score, both from the penalty spot. And nerves of steel from Claudia Valletta with the penalty.
Amazing stuff from the Bulls, and 2 penalties in the game. Both players, Souza, Valletta, step up. Nerves of steel, like you said. On such an occasion, in the situation they were in, the Bulls have really played this second half in a really smart way. And I think it's all come from Avani Prakash, to be honest. She's come on, changed the game.
Well, I'll get you to have another look back at a replay of the penalty decision here. Claudia Valletta scored in the semi-final, now scores in the final, the left back. And APIA, in the aftermath of the goal, did make the sub. So even though the scores are now level, they have still brought on Hannah McNulty for Alyssa Rose. Through ball in the meantime, and Magus will field it here. It was Sophie Hoban.
To me, it's a clear penalty.
You're happy with...
I'm happy with it. There's contact. The arms are in the air, but she didn't move. She's made contact. That's, to me, a clear penalty.
The Bulls are up and about. APIA now. Can they go again? Offside here against Chico. And we'll throw it down to Will Constantinides. Will, what was your view of the penalty decision and then the aftermath of the goal?
Yeah, Sophie Hoban just left a leg dangling there. It's a lazy leg left out, which was taken up, and then a good penalty sending Sophie Magus the wrong way. And straight after the penalty, Marty Garces turned around to the Bull supporters, amped them up, and they obliged in kind. So momentum is well and truly with the Bulls again, and the fans are up on their feet.
Thank you to Will, keeping us posted. And yeah, you're seeing the crowd cutaways as well. Free kick here to the Bulls of the fans. They're really starting to try to have an effect on the game. Now we see a quickly taken free kick. They've been a rarity from the Bulls. They're not going to win a third penalty, are they? They're not. Cleared away from Dos Santos. At least maybe not yet. Here's Coco DeCipio taking on Hoban. Coco DeCipio to Valletta. Claudia Valletta with space to drift in across. Players shielding their eyes from the sun. But it's cleared away by Pryor. Chico swarmed by Dos Santos and Prakash. And now Valletta out in space, but it's going to run long.
It's game on here, Teo. Like you said, you asked, could they win a third penalty? I think that's down to APIA as well, and the way the Bulls are moving the ball now around the box, it's really hard to deal with.
And how about the immediate impact of Jade Guishon? Scores in the semi-final in extra time last week, wins the penalty here today. Marty Garces has really pulled the right reins with his substitutes.
He really has, and it's great to see him backing his youngsters. It's paid off so far.
Well, we have a level game, and the mindset shifts so much for these teams, because APIA now, they don't have something to defend in the last 10 minutes. They have to go and try and win it all over again. Will we be off to extra time? Here's Maya Khalil. Plays the ball to Valletta. And now Dos Santos sees Phillips and maybe just held fire. The pass might have been on a little earlier. Not to be. Cleared away by Teal Kilbride. Chico's flick header. And the ball finds its way out. APIA have quality on the bench in the form of Ashley Brodigan, lots of A-League experience. Gisela Pepino scored plenty of important goals for them. You wonder, are they going to stick with the starters, or is McNulty the only sub they're going to make here? As Prakash can't find a way through. In terms of how they set up a defensive midfield, APIA, what do you do to try and curtail Prakash's influence on the game? It's very hard to do in the run, but is there anything you've seen that you might want them to try?
I mean, it's hard because she's such a crafty player, and I think the best thing they can do is not dive in on her. I think a few times they've dived in, and that's what's opening things up for the Bulls. So they have not dealt with Prakash at the moment. That's something that's in the works for them, I believe.
So the impact of the cross there from Chico, and it's winded Claudia Valletta, the most recent goal scorer. She stays down. Valletta, only 21 years of age. We saw her make her A-League women's debut over summer, Teresa, as an injury replacement player at Perth Glory. So it's a big stage for these players, especially the ones that are kind of caught in the middle. You're in a top team in the NPL, but you're not a surefire signing for the A-League women, so shining in a grand final is your stage.
Absolutely, and I'm sure A-League coaches were out scouting during the regular season, so these players have performed well. They've gotten to this grand final because of their consistently good play, so I'm sure, you know, A-League coaches have these players on their radar, if not already snapped up.
And it does mean, due to receiving treatment, Valletta is off just for this one phase of play. So could APIA capitalise? 11 versus 10. Can they make it count? McNulty. Back to Fragale. Fragale to McNulty. Valletta is still off here. It's still player advantage for Bulls, but Prakash has won the ball back here. And look at this, a slaloming run from deep in midfield. Sets Phillips away. Guichon was more waiting for a bit of a heavier pass there. Instead, it sat up to the advantage of Pryor, but you could just see the avenue to go into.
You can, and that's a prime example of why Prakash is so hard to deal with. Her ability to slalom through and use her footwork, her unpredictability, her early play of the ball. These are things that are very hard to deal with.
Phillips pops it over the top. Guichon against Jasnos, who is on a yellow card now, don't forget. Forceful back pass from Pryor, and it is trapped and cleared away by Magus. Only as far as Phillips. Feels like the Bulls are closing in at the moment. APIA, they need to keep their heads. Kilbride driving a pass over to the right of midfield, and it's going to run away for a throw-in. Coco DeCipio against McNulty. Oh, the referee blindsided to McNulty being grabbed. Throw in for Bulls. Prakash, great first touch. And it allows her to take the game on. Dos Santos just lobs in across, hopefully, and Magus able to catch. Pryor. Quick turn of speed, almost up to the halfway line. Now has to stop and think about things. And is able to draw a free kick, so APIA ball. Fragale. Kilbride to Chico. Estelle Fragale. Can't reconnect with Chico. Through came Valletta. Now Maya Khalil from deep in midfield. Sees Prakash. Prakash is veering away. Must have heard Hoban coming. There's a tangle off the ball. Jasnos knocked over Guichon, who bounces straight back up. Prakash played the pass, said, get on your feet, and up she got. Here's Jasmine Melly. Khalil. Looks very confident on the ball since coming off the bench.
Both youngsters have been outstanding since they've come on, fit in seamlessly.
And now here goes Guichon up against Jasnos. Jasnos shoulder to shoulder, wins the ball back. Oh, and is that a grab of the ponytail? What colour's the card going to be here? And then the retaliation. It's a red card for both teams. I don't believe it. Jordan Jasnos was already on a yellow, and so took the game in her hands by retaliating, and that was after Jade Guichon had already been shown a red of her own And the player who won the penalty to equalise for Bulls Academy has been sent off, only for Jordan Jasnos to be shown a straight red in short order straight up.
I mean, what a crazy turn of events here. Absolutely a red card for pulling the ponytail there, but Jasnos did not need to intervene there. They had the upper hand and she's let her emotions get the better of her there.
It's a sad end to the game for the player who was best on the pitch in the Sapphire Cup final and won the medal. It's a sad end to what's been an outstanding comeback season from Jordan Jasnos. You just hope that, regardless of the outcome of today's game, that doesn't sour what's been a sensational campaign from her. And for Jade Guichon, 17 years old, playing in a grand final, you've come on, you've made an impact, you've helped your team get back in the game, and you get sent off. It's extraordinary. High tension here at the end of the game, and now 10 versus 10. It was a big pitch here. It's going to feel even bigger as players fatigue. Free kick and advantage given to Frigale. Could APIA potentially turn things around here and get back in front? Frigale still battling, free kick given. And the crowd is starting to heat up as well.
These are the reasons, Teo, why experience is just so important. Not in games in general, in being big games like this where you've just got to have your head on and thinking ahead all the time. But these are learning curves for both players, regardless.
It's just, it's sad. You want players to shine. You want them to do their best, but instead, the drama has prevailed. Bouncing ball here. Magus has got to come out and collect and is able to do so. Everyone's focus is straight back onto the ball, straight back onto the action.
10v10 now out there, Teo, that the field's going to open up even more.
Lancaster and Namoto bats it down, all bravely able to hold on to the ball, and Mona Walker came through in a fashion that saw her hurdle over the keeper, and thankfully no trailing foot or anything to collect Mio Namoto there. Here's Valletta. Now Coco DeCipio. Could this be advantageous to the Bulls to try and exploit the gaps, exploit the space? The ball stays in here for Gray. Back to Namoto. Got to be careful playing out against Chico. But found Liz Gray. All roads lead to the captain. Now Coco DeCipio, another of the senior players, even though she is only 23. She carries herself like a leader out there. Prakash, what a game she's had. That pass she'd love to have back. And as the ball is out for a throw-in, Will Constantinides, drama down on the sidelines. How did you see it and how did the benches react?
Well, both benches weren't happy about it at all. There was plenty happening. It was actually over on the far side. I couldn't see too much of it, but I definitely saw the pull on the hair, and I definitely saw the push coming back from Jordan Jasnos, which, to be honest, Teo, was just needless, given they were already going to have the benefit of being up a player. And then Jordan Jasnos was given plenty from the Bulls fans as she came off, and Jade Guichon just made her way off with little to no fanfare on her exit as she walked past the Bulls fans. But it's all to play for with 3 to go.
Extraordinary. Thank you, Will. And at the high drama of this finish, is it going to come with a match winner, or are we going to have extra time to decide the champion? APIA have got the ball down at their attacking end. Hoban, her goal started the scoring. About 4 goals today. It is out for a goal kick, Teresa Polias. Do you think we get a winner before full time?
Oh, I think that the red cards have taken a bit of the wind out of the game now, so not really seeing either team with major momentum at the moment, so wouldn't be surprised if we head into overtime at this point.
What do you think the coaches are thinking down on the sidelines too? Their best laid plans?
Yeah, things have changed a bit. I think they're thinking way ahead, possibly thinking about their 5 for the Pens.
This is where you earn your money. This is where you make your reputation.
You have to be thinking 1 step ahead.
How many minutes of stoppage as well? We had 3 in the first half. We're a minute away from finding out how many in the second. Will it be enough for the Bulls? Prakash. Dos Santos. It's Janae Dos Santos as the ball stays in, and Pryor is able to clear. Just her urgency to chase that cutback down. It didn't quite come with a forceful cutback. However, Melly has won possession back here for Bulls Academy. Coco DeCipio puts the head down, able to blaze past Lancaster. Coco DeCipio, Phillips! Blocked away. The combination of Kilbride and Chico did enough, and it's behind for a corner.
Phillips just could not connect there on the edge of that 6-yard box. It was a crucial moment there. APIA so fortunate, but Coco DeCipio, I mean, fantastic run there to cut that ball back.
Liz Gray comes up for the corner kick. Gemma Ferris there with her. The two tall targets, Coco DeCipio, plenty of headed goals of her 17 this season. In comes the corner. It's allowed to bounce. Ferris saved, and the follow-up is over the bar. And that was the moment. It would have been a double for Claudia Valletta, and Gemma Ferris was foiled by a great save from Magus.
The Bulls absolutely cursed in that 6-yard area in this game once again. Could not capitalise.
It was a tough half volley. We go into 4 additional minutes. It wasn't to be for Claudia Valletta. I suspect that either way it would have been the match-winning goal. Chico, can APIA flip the script? McNulty is offside. Ferris wasting no time. Coco DeCipio's a lone hand up forward. Now support comes from Phillips. It's offside at the other end. A little bit too frayed, a little bit too ragged at the desperate end of the afternoon.
You can just imagine the fatigue out there and losing a player as well. There's so much more ground to cover.
Players contemplating how much more running they'll have to do. Here's Prakash. Blocked by Walker. Hoban not able to get a run at the ball. Ferris's pass straight to Walker. Over the top it goes, and Nomoto is able to collect and dive onto the ball. We've played a minute 20 of 4 additional minutes. Are we going to get a stoppage time winner of the championship? The Bulls continue to build. Maya Khalil plays it out to Coco DeCipio. Wide on the right. Prakash and Valletta are both getting forward in the middle, as is Phillips. The ball has come to a standstill in the meantime, though, as have the players. It just didn't quite unfold the way Coco DeCipio might have hoped, but she's been able to go in and pick the pocket of Lancaster. Valletta. Diagonal ball. Prakash at the edge of the area. And APIA have their defence set. Khalil. Phillips. Petria Phillips from distance. It's going to dip. Not enough to really worry Sophie Magus.
Not enough on the end of that one, and Magus deals with it.
Header from Valletta. Coco DeCipio around the corner with a high ball. Lancaster lost out to Phillips. Little chop back heel from Dos Santos. Petria Phillips twists it back towards Prakash in the middle, but it's cleared away. APIA able to repel. They're the ones holding on here at the moment. McNulty. Crofts ahead of the ball, but not able to find a way past. It was Jasmine Melly who made a crucial block, and now Maya Khalil, the fresh legs of the young sub, finds Dos Santos. She's biding her time, trying to find the right player. Khalil presented for the ball. Just a bundle of energy at the moment and driving Bulls forward. Here's Valletta with a cross. It's an up and under header from Kilbride. Once, twice, trying to get it to the safety of the line. And eventually she does. We've had 3 of 4 additional minutes. We're in the last minute of the 90. The Bulls fans trying to lift their team. One last attack to win the championship here without the need for extra time. Dos Santos. Bit of miscommunication. You heard the sound of the block tackle coming through from Walker. It had its impact on Phillips, who's reaching to her shins. And there's only 10 seconds of additional time to go.
Tough challenge there between Phillips and Walker. Phillips still walking gingerly there.
Referee not looking at the watch just yet. Phillips pops the ball into the middle. Dos Santos. It's bouncing awkwardly. Lancaster clears, but Melly's got an uncontested run at the ball here. And through comes Hoban, and that might be enough to steer APIA into the huddle at the end of 90 minutes. Referee's not reaching for the watch or the whistle just yet. Fragale has Prakash on her case. Just desperate to avoid conceding a corner. And this grand final deserves extra time, and that's exactly what it will get. Bulls Academy have come back from 2-0 down, and it is even after 90 minutes and stoppage, both on the score sheet and in terms of the red cards brandished during the game. High drama in the NPL New South Wales Women's Grand Final. 2-2 after 90 minutes. We're off to extra time. Teresa Polias, what a game.
What a game. I mean, my voice is a bit shaky. It's been that entertaining, and I think we got what we wanted, Teo. We've got extra time. We wanted to see more. We didn't want it to end. So it'd be interesting to see what's said. What are the coaches? What instructions would they be giving to their team at the moment? As it stands, I believe the Bulls have the upper hand now. I think they've had the better opportunities.
Let's go down to the sideline. I think we've got Will Constantinidis with us to give us his post-game thoughts, maybe some observations from what's happening in the huddle, and as the crowd falls into a hush, you'll be able to hear us for once, Will. But it's been a frenzied second half. What direction do you think the game might take now in extra time?
Well, I think APIA are going to be making a sub. First of all, Ash Brodigan is just going through what I think is the final stages of her warm-up. It looked like she was going to come on in the second half, but they may have just held back on that, and it looks like she'll be going back now. I actually think APIA have lost more out of the whole red card situation. I know both players have had a player sent off, but with Charlotte Lancaster having to go to left back, I think they've lost her hold-up play further up the pitch. And we know how good her passing is as well, especially those long balls up to Croft. So I think Bulls are definitely better positioned at the moment, and we'll see what shape APIA take with Ash Brodigan set to come on, I think, here.
If you had to hazard a guess, Will, who do you think Brodigan will come on for?
Difficult to tell. I think maybe one of the midfielders. I know Estelle Fragale has been doing really well. We saw her put in a good challenge just a moment ago. I wonder if they look at maybe a Mona Walker potentially. She's been a lot less in the game maybe. Sophie Hoban has been running hard, but do you take off the player that's been, I think, their best player here today? It's a big decision for Brad Attard to make, and you can see him in the huddle with about 4 different coaches deciding which direction they want to go here. Conversely, Marty Garces on the other end, they look pretty calm. The Bulls know that if they just keep doing what they're doing, that APIA will crack soon, just as they had in that second half.
Great points there from Will Constantinidis. Yet the APIA Brains Trust, they're not talking to the players, they're talking to each other right now. They're trying to work out what rein to pull. And as we heard from Will just there, Ash Brodigan is coming on, Teresa, but we don't know who's coming off just yet. So the attacker who started the season at Bulls Academy and switched over to APIA mid-campaign, she's popped up for some important goals, 5 in the league, 2 in the cup over the course of the season. Do you think it's maybe Charlotte Lancaster's number that comes up? Or if you were bringing on Brodigan, an attacker, where are you looking maybe to pull a different rein and sacrifice one of the midfielders?
An interesting one, too. I think Lancaster's had a great game. I know she has fatigued a bit, so
and you'd think
that's
she would be a penalty taker as well,
that's
though,
right. So,
yeah.
Look, I don't think it's her time yet, but perhaps, you know, given how fatigued she is, it might be an option. But, yeah, they've got to get Brodigan on as soon as possible. I think her experience is needed out there at this point, but as to who makes way, that's for their brains trust to figure that one out.
So, mentality-wise, what are you saying to your teammates out there as the grand final heads into 30 more minutes and players have to dig deep and find something that at the end of a long season they may not even know is there?
Well, the Bulls, they're thereabouts, so it's much the same, getting everyone revved up to continue to go. I think for APIA, though, it's on the line, and I think they need to step up the energy a bit if they want a chance here.
If you've only just joined us or been directed to this game due to social media clips or word getting around that it's been a cracking grand final, APIA Leichhardt, as we kick off extra time, led 2-0 thanks to Sophie Hoban and Alyssa Rose. They carried that scoreline to half-time, only for Bulls Academy to get back into the game. 2 penalties, one of them won by that player on the ball there, Ivani Prakash, and converted by Tamirez Souza, and the other one was earned by Jade Guichon and converted by Claudia Valletta. And then perhaps the most dramatic moment of the second half. Guichon shown a straight red card for grabbing the ponytail of Jordan Jasnos, who then got up, pushed over Guichon, and got a red card of her own. So it's 10 versus 10 for extra time, assuming no one else sees red between now and the end of the game. Here's Hannah McNulty on the ball. Sophie Hoban and Ashcroft's trying to press Mio Nomoto, the goalkeeper. It's going to fall shallow. Valletta able to knock it away from Walker, but not Hoban. And Hoban can't find a teammate with the pass. Out steps Ferris. Fregale trying to wheel around against Prakash. Coco DeCipio kept the ball in. And so Ashley Brodigan has not been subbed on just yet. Interestingly, Charlotte Lancaster has gone into left back. So after the red card to Jordan Jasnos, APIA are actually going to sacrifice a little bit of their attacking bite to maintain a back four.
And I think to preserve a little bit of energy as well, but they've had to patch that position up, and Lancaster's the obvious go-to there.
McNulty, great touch to bring down a long ball from Magus. Here is Lancaster, recast in that new position on the left side of defence. Jasmine Melly, now Gemma Ferris. Had the chance to win it, saved at point-blank range by Magus right at the end of stoppage time in the 90. Fregale, looking energetic, still buzzing around. Plays the ball back to Teal Kilbride. Kilbride with the ball over the top. Was Hoban onside? No, she wasn't. She looked off to the naked eye, and the assistant referee agrees, offside.
We haven't seen Hoban get on the ball as much in this second half and now in extra time, so it'll be interesting to see if she remains the go-to player for APIA.
Lancaster, hard to turn off the attacking instincts, burst through, couldn't quite get the better of Melly though. And now Coco DeCipio is going to keep the ball at her feet. Pryor has possession here. Magus saying put it out, because Dos Santos was cutting off the angles on a back pass. Well timed there from Lancaster, kept it away from Coco DeCipio. Fregale takes on Prakash, able to get the better of her, but then the pass from Lancaster is going the wrong way. Phillips, and now Maya Khalil. Up comes Valletta. Her goal from the penalty spot was the equaliser. Quick link up here with Petria Phillips.
Got to say, Khalil's been sensational since she's come on. Her decision-making has been second to none. She's distributing the ball from side to side, exactly what she needs to do.
It's a real credit to the coaching and the setup of Bulls that their subs have come on looking so prepared. Here's a bouncing ball to an offside. Isabella Coco DeCipio. It wouldn't have mattered if she had a play at the ball. You're right, though. Her individual composure.
For such a young player.
It's not a grand final for her. She's rising to the occasion and making it look like any other game.
And perhaps that's an advantage of youngsters too, that sort of carefree attitude without them trying to be carefree. I think it just comes with the youth.
Okay.
Well, could be vital here to sustaining the tempo of the game for Bulls, lest both teams concede that this one might be heading for a penalty shootout. Of course, APIA have got their penalty demons. They were beaten in the shootout by the MacArthur Rams last season.
Yeah, you got to go really loud though.
And I think from an APIA point of view, they'll just be happy that Trudy Simmons has retired, because their record against Bulls Academy when Trudy was in goal was actually not great. Here goes Dos Santos down the left. Stops and props. Only Coco DeCipio in the box. Now others are drifting forward. And it's a corner kick, and Dos Santos has done well to turn a 1-on-4 into a corner.
And what a game Dos Santos has had up to this point. She's been crucial in the way the Bulls have gotten forward, and she's earned a few corners.
Well, 10 versus 10, this is where a corner can be even more dangerous. Taken short, Valletta is going to whip it into the near post, batted away by Magus, and cleared by Lancaster. No counter-attack on, though. APIA had everyone back defending. Melly, with the height, staying forward, drops it at the edge of the box. Ferris tried to block the clearance. Gray, shot on sight, was blocked immediately. Now rolls it back out to Melly. Phillips. Prakash in a little pocket. And back to Petria Phillips, but a stand-up tackle coming through from Pryor, who kept her feet. Now plays it to McNulty, ball at an awkward height. And it is an APIA throw-in. Ash Brodigan has got the bib off here. Is the sub going through? Nope, she's been steered back to the technical area, so the mystery remains. 6 minutes into additional time, into extra time. Who the next APIA sub will come on for?
Looks like it's about to happen, Teo.
Well, we're in a bit of a calm before the storm here. The end of the 90 minutes was so intense and so full of acrimony that now it feels as though this is just a pure aftermath, and yet there's a trophy on the line. And now the sub is going to go through. So Ashley Brodigan, moment of truth. It is going to be Teal Kilbride making way. So they're going to sacrifice a central defender. They're going to move Mona Walker into the centre of defence out of midfield. And everyone's going to reshuffle here because Ashley Brodigan has gone on at the tip of the spear. She's going to be up top. So everyone finds a new position and Brodigan comes into the game.
Interesting one, and fresh legs up the top, so perhaps that'll shift the momentum a bit for APIA. Here we go.
First touch for the sub, involved straight away, forcing it through. Hoban not able to get a run at the ball, and it's cleared away by Valletta. And Liz Gray, who, let's not forget, was 50% of the head clash with Jessica Seaman late in the first half, and it was the incident that forced Seaman to leave the game. She's now down, and there's a player, if there's one player that the Bulls cannot afford to lose, it is their captain, Liz Gray.
We don't want to see players hurt, but you can see why Brodigan's been put out to spearhead that attack. The back line for the Bulls is obviously fatigued, and the player that's come on fresh, it's going to leave them quite vulnerable. They've got to be careful, and we know Liz Gray likes to get forward, perhaps knowing there's a fresh player out there that might make her a bit hesitant to do that now.
So Gray, you can already see one thigh, or hamstring, I suspect a thigh, heavily bandaged. It's not immediately obvious what the latest ailment is. As the ball tumbles into the box, and Crofts with an attempt to twist it around the corner. And again, the absence of Liz Gray even for one phase of play writ large right there.
Exactly, Teo. Her presence is so vital to this Bulls Academy team.
But they get away with it, the Bulls. It's only one phase of play, 11 versus 10, or 10 versus 9. Here's Maya Khalil. Phillips is down and a bit sore. She's holding her arm. She gets back to her feet. Coco DeCipio waited for a dummy runner and then broke into the middle and now uses the runner in Melly. Great play from Coco DeCipio. Melly drifts it in and the ball sits up for Prakash, but it's nicked away at the last second by Fregale. Now Brodigan, blocked away by Ferris. Throw in taken quickly by Lancaster. Ferris able to double back and win the header, but Coco DeCipio can't keep it in. Do you remember what happened last time you and I were commentating a game that went to extra time, Teresa?
I do, Teo. I think we're safe this time.
It's the drama of, for those of you wondering, the A-League semi-final between Melbourne City and Central Coast. It was decided by a goal after the 120th minute. So don't leave your seats. This has been a game filled with attacking chances. And even though the tempo of the first 10 minutes of extra time has been a bit more sedate than what we got for most of the 90, you do feel as though neither of these teams truly want penalties. They want a goal. They want to win it without the need for spot kicks.
On second thought, Teo, perhaps we're not safe from that.
Here's Dos Santos now looking for Coco DeCipio in the middle. It just tails over her head, a little bit too much height on the cross. And Lancaster bombs away, is claiming there was a deflection, and the assistant referee agrees. Crofts shoved and a free kick. An easy decision for Charlotte Flynn, our central referee, who's had a heck of a job today, given how these two teams have fought for this grand final. Remaining subs on either bench, Ruby Davies, Grace John, and also backup goalkeeper Lily Taylor for Bulls Academy, and for APIA, Paige Cuthill is their backup goalkeeper, Gisela Pepino and Imogen Lane. So still a couple of extra players should they need them. Here's a looping cross, the ball is spilled, and Ash Brodigan capitalises. APIA in front. A costly mix-up for the Bulls Academy defence. And it's APIA who retake the lead, 3-2 in the first half of extra time.
A calamity there for the Bulls, so disappointing. They've been so stable in this second half, and huge mix-up there.
Well, it was Valletta and Namoto, and they just gift-wrapped it for Ashley Brodigan to prod the ball in.
All it takes is a little bit of communication to avoid such an incident, and they've let APIA back in front.
And more trouble with Gemma Ferris, who wasn't there in the penalty area because she was down and cramping. Brad Adhart firing up the fans. You can see they've all got the cardboard cutouts of the players' faces. APIA are the ones cheering.
But these are the things that happen when players are fatigued and decision-making starts to go out the window, and then you've got a fresh player like Brodigan on who's really alert in and around those areas near the goal.
Brodigan, who started the season at Bulls Academy, moved to APIA and played her first game for them in round 10. It's her 6th of the season across both the two teams. Incredibly, starting at one club and ending at another. Nothing bittersweet about it, and she wasn't afraid to celebrate against her old side either, Teresa. None of that in a grand final.
No, it's all or nothing out there, Teo.
Having come down from Newcastle and the Broadmeadow Magic, she's certainly made an impact here in the grand final. And, well, we were speculating as to when she would get off the bench and get subbed on, and she's made her mark now with the go-ahead goal, and it's over to Bulls. They've come back from 2-0 down. Now they need to come back again. Phillips is cramping in front of our eyes. In the meantime, Coco DeCipio might have it all to do here on her own. Phillips is trying to hobble back to her feet. In the meantime, Coco DeCipio, can she find a corner or a throw-in? Lancaster knocks the ball out, but it's a goal kick. And it gives us the chance to go back down to Will Constantinides. And Will, the drama continues, and now it's APIA's turn back in front in the game.
Things in a grand final. APIA had barely been up both end of the field in basically this entire period of extra time plus the second half, and the basic first chance they get is just Charlotte Lancaster lofting in a ball, and then we spoke about where Ash Brodigan was going to be deployed, and I think Brad Attard got that one spot on because she was at the top of the attack right there to pounce.
It was a good finish from Brodigan in amongst the chaos, and Mia Namoto had a long stretch of this game where she was in control, maybe not the greatest on the second APIA goal, but had known when to come off her line, had been vital a number of times in stopping APIA from scoring a third inside 90 minutes. Phillips has been able to recover from the cramps. Now Melly. Coco DeCipio. The ball tumbles off Fregale, back to Melly, looped into the box. Chico, one header, now has it back at feet and just drives it to the safety of the line. Bulls have got just seconds to play with here at the end of the first half of extra time. Valletta, an underheader from Walker. Crofts couldn't take possession. Coco DeCipio now right next to it. Fourth official says there will be one more minute before halftime in extra time, and Bulls are going to need that minute. They're the ones down in attack. Brad Attard shouting from the technical area at the APIA defence. Crofts with a clearing header, and Hoban to the safety of the line. Prakash. Gray. Right up the middle. Dos Santos. It sits up kindly. Dos Santos. Bulls level. It's 3-3. Seemingly no end to the twists and turns of this grand final. And Janaea Dos Santos levels things up.
Well, if there's a player that deserved that moment, it's Janaea Dos Santos. What a response from the Bulls.
Talk us through the replay. Half-time whistle goes in extra time.
Well, what a ball over the top from Gray, perfectly weighted, and Dos Santos, amazing finish between Magus and I think it was Walker there. Incredible stuff. Timely as well, I might add.
So half-time in extra time, the change of ends, it comes at a perfect time for Bulls. Janaea Dos Santos. It's her 7th goal of the season, and of course she's had the heartache of watching her sister, her younger sister, Indy Dos Santos, tear her ACL, and she's with her every step on that rehab journey.
Absolutely.
Indy Dos Santos was in the rooms after the semi-final last week, so she's still there wearing the club colours and supporting big sister. It's a family of 4 sisters. They're all footballers. Janaea's the second oldest of the 4. And it's a big moment. I mean, she's played for her country at under 20 level, but we're still waiting to find out if she'll be going on in the A-League Women's. She was at Canberra last season. And that's a big, big moment for her and really huge for Bulls to get back level with 15 minutes of this game to go.
Massive moment, and her family would be surely cheering on, and she's certainly channeling that Dos Santos energy, that's for sure.
And so we're about to kick off the second half of extra time. 3-3 now the score. T, have you seen something important?
Well, it's looking like the Bulls have pushed Liz Gray up the top to spearhead. They've got 3 at the back now, so they're going for it. You can see their mentality.
No thoughts of a penalty shootout. Liz Gray
Great to see.
Moves into attack, and it is, as you say, 3 at the back. Ferris in the middle, Valletta on the left, and Jasmine Melly on the right. Will that leave gaps for APIA to try and take the lead once again? Hoban twisting into the box. Able to free the feet and not quite able to meet Brodigan with the cross to the top of the 6-yard box. Coco DeCipio, a 1-2 with Valletta. She's just got better as the game has gone on, Coco DeCipio.
She has. Oh,
refusing to be beaten, puts the ball out in front of Phillips. Liz Gray now waits in the penalty area at the back post, calls for the cross from Phillips, and it's found Gray, but off the top of her head and out. And completely sharp Petria Phillips at the start of the game maybe finds her, but we've seen her collapse to the ground a couple of times, battling cramp and still going on.
It's a tough one with cramp because any little movement can set it off, particularly long balls and passes, so she's done well to keep it under control.
Action-packed first minute of the second half of extra time. And now APIA might be away here. Hoban, no, big challenge from Valletta. Had to win the ball and did. Dos Santos, the most recent goal scorer. Coco DeCipio can't find a way past Chico. Now McNulty flips the ball out to Hoban. And Hoban skips around Valletta. Sends the cross. Crofts is unmarked at the back post, but on a tight angle. Crofts, Brodigan, saved by Namoto, and batted down to safety. Didn't quite strike it true there, did Brodigan. It was a bit of a drifter. Might even have been heading off target by the time Namoto saved it, but the goalkeeper wasn't to know. Fragale with Gray right on the scene. Chico straight to the line. Marty Garces applauds from the technical area. He's waving his team forward.
You've got to love the way he's backing his team to go for it.
Phillips. Now Dos Santos. Gray loses out to Walker. Valletta leans into a header. Dos Santos. Prakash. Avani Prakash. Back to Patria Phillips on the wing. Oh, and straight into the face of the nearest player, Fregale. And she's put her body on the line every way possible in this game, and unfortunately now to the point where she's received hard impact from across at close range.
Yeah, it's that close range impact of the ball. She'll be quickly assessed.
And while this assessment takes place, Will Constantinides, it looks like Imogen Lane is limbering up for APIA, but still no signs of Gisela Pepino. So do you think there's another sub not too far away?
Yeah, I think Imogen Lane is definitely about to come on. I mean, her pace will be crucial, you think, down this back stretch. With all the space opening up, APIA will look to use her on the break. The surprising part is, though, Teo, Gisela Pepino has not even warmed up, which is quite surprising given the fact that she's a proven match winner for them and can get things done. So I wonder whether that's a case of maybe thinking beyond just the 120 minutes and whether they have their penalty takers already out there for APIA.
Well, and you raise a good point because, of course, it was Pepino who was one of the players that had a penalty saved in last season's grand final shootout, Will. So we'll wait and see if she does make an appearance, and then if she does, what order, maybe if we do go to penalties. But the way the game's going, don't bank on that just yet. We've still got 12 minutes plus stoppage to go. And both teams are still going for a fourth goal. Ferris stood up to the challenge of Hoban, and through came Valletta to make it really physical. Quick 1-2 between Maya Khalil and Janaea Dos Santos was neatly worked. Coco DeCipio sees Phillips. And Patria Phillips now to Janaea Dos Santos. Coco DeCipio in space. Liz Gray is the target, but the crossfield pass is off the mark. Lancaster launches a counter, only as far as Ferris, and she knocks it down to Gray. Gray's high ball dealt with by Walker. It's going to slide eventually out for a throw-in. Prakash trying to twist and turn away from the APIA defence. Pryor, clearance only as far as Dos Santos. Whipped in by Melly. It's going to fall for Gray! And Liz Gray puts the Bulls in front. And after a day of chasing, at last, the Bulls have the lead.
Heroic, Teo. They've pushed Liz Gray on. They've absolutely gone for it, and it has paid off.
Liz Gray rose the highest. Magus was right there, but Gray, a solid header through the ball, and with the keeper out, it bounced into an unguarded net.
So strong in the air, and it bounced perfectly for her. She made no mistake of it.
7th goal of the season for Gray, and she was a former striker. Those of you familiar with her from her W League days will remember her as a centre forward.
And a great one at that.
Turned central defender, and those instincts were there in full. She heads in the go-ahead goal. They were 2-0 down. They were 3-2 down.
And no surprises, Teo. She's back at the back now, trying to hold the fort.
Well, APIA, it's their turn to go for broke. Ashley Crofts. Oh, she's been legged here. It's a penalty. Well, the ball was running out. Valletta maybe can protest, but Ashley Crofts was tripped. The Bulls bench can't believe it. Their entire day's toil to take the lead could be wiped out immediately from kickoff.
Well, the ball was running out, Teo.
Is it? Well, would Crofts have taken possession before the line, Teresa? I think that's the judgment call that the referee has to make there.
No doubt there was contact there.
Crofts is eventually getting up. She's most likely the penalty taker here. Now, I mentioned that APIA did not have a great penalty record against Trudy Simmons when she was the Bulls Academy keeper. But it's Mio Nomoto in goal here.
Yeah.
Another look back on the replay.
No,
Is it a good call?
It's a good call. It's a good call. She probably would have got that ball. There's definite contact. She was clipped. And I do think she would have caught up to that ball.
Ashley Crofts has taken her time to regain composure. Mio Nomoto waits for the Bulls Academy. Can Crofts level it up at 4-4? Nomoto saves and holds the ball. Mio Nomoto has come up with a vital save, and Ashcrofts went crashing through after, but could not dislodge the ball. Nomoto down to her right, there was backspin on it, and she lunged out face first and grasped on as Crofts went flying through.
And perhaps with that, Teo, she's made up for that last error which resulted in the APIA goal. Fantastic save. What a game.
Well, Bulls Academy have got the backup keeper here, Lily Taylor, warming up. She's an 18-year-old Taylor. We've seen a group of unafraid teenagers wanting to play in this grand final. Crofts immediately responded to the penalty being saved, but she was sent sprawling as she went over the top of the keeper. Let's take another look at the replay. Firstly, the penalty. It was a very savable penalty, T.
It was, and she did well, and Crofts followed through there. There was reasonable contact, that's for sure, but Nomoto is sitting up. She does appear to be okay.
And we're seeing the Liz Gray goal again here, the goal that still has Bulls in front 4-3.
Just timed that to perfection.
And now, concern here for Crofts. I mean, the way she made impact there with Nomoto, it was a hard hit. Gisela Pepino's up on her feet. Imogen Lane was the other APIA sub we were discussing may potentially come on. Gemma Ferris is still battling cramp. Will Constantinidis describe the drama to us from ground level?
It is all happening down here. APIA still, I think, undecided on what sub they want to make. They've got now Imogen Lane and Gisela Pepino both up. Imogen Lane had sat down just a moment ago, and I think they might be bringing both on here as one last roll of the dice. But just on the penalty, there was a bit of a discussion between Ash Crofts and Ash Brodigan as to who was going to take the pen, given that Crofts had taken a bit of a tumble, and in the end Crofts decided to take it. And I wonder now if you replay that decision with the benefit of hindsight as Pepino gets set to check into the game.
Yeah, and it looks as though it's for Ashley Crofts. So what a sad end to the grand final for Crofts. Had the chance to draw APIA level. Instead, as the penalty saved, she's hurt herself going in for the follow-up. And Gisela Pepino comes on. 3 goals this season. And she'll be hoping that a chance can present. She's a futsal international for Australia. And she's been a long-time APIA player. Looks as though Imogen Lane is still waiting for now, and Crofts is still being treated behind the goal by the physio. So hopefully this is not structural, like a leg break or something similar. Hopefully that whatever has happened here...
Well, she'll get further assessment. She's in the recovery position, Teo, but concerning signs for Crofts.
It really is. So play continues in the meantime. There's 4 minutes of regulation to go, but write your own ticket on how much stoppage after that delay. Bulls want a 5th. They want a 2-goal buffer. Coco DeCipio trying to muscle her way past Walker, but not Chico. Chico clears. Ferris again, back up and sprightly. Well, I say that as she goes to ground. You flagged it, T. Even the slightest exertion can re-trigger the cramps. And now Ferris stays down.
She's down, a bit of cramp going on out there, which is understandable at this point.
Estelle Fregale has come off, and Imogen Lane is the final sub for APIA. They have brought on all of their outfielders from the bench now. It's devastation for Fregale. It looks as though she's come off very upset that her team is behind. Bulls readying Ruby Davies potentially here to come on for Gemma Ferris. I think her number's going to be up here, T. So Ferris limps out of the game, a game where she's put her body on the line. And on comes Ruby Davies, the 18-year-old, used to play for Nepean. So from way out west to the Bulls Academy, Ruby Davies is into this grand final. Players just falling by the wayside. It's been just a battle of attrition in amongst a lot of good football today.
Well, I'd imagine there'll be quite a few minutes added on at the end here, Teo.
Well, again, the ground has fallen into just an eerie hush after the goal for Bulls and then the penalty for APIA immediately after. But
it's nail-biting.
Well, the ebb and flow of the game has been reflected by the crowd really going on this roller coaster with everyone. And there's 2 minutes of the 120, and then into stoppage we go. It's APIA's turn to chase the game. And the ball has found its way out. Bulls have sent Liz Gray back to the centre of defence. Ashley Crofts continues to be treated behind the goal. Gemma Ferris continues to be treated where she almost collapsed off the pitch into the technical area. Players running themselves into the ground. Here's Hoban. Through comes McNulty, through comes Valletta. Big interception. Coco DeCipio has got Phillips and Dos Santos ahead of the ball. Coco DeCipio puts her head down, keeps sprinting, and she wipes out Chico. And the referee's on the scene. It's a free kick, will it be more? Chico got there very much in time to clear it away. And you'd think Coco DeCipio, even at this late stage, whether a yellow is relevant or not, should receive a yellow here.
It certainly was a late challenge on Chico, but doesn't appear that she's been booked.
No, referee keeps the cards in the pocket. And that will take us into the last minute of the 120. Lane, the sub, most recent for APIA, along with Pepino. Through midfield they go. Tash Pryor has been thrown forward now for APIA. Their turn to send a centre back into attack. And Mio Nomoto. Pops the ball briefly into the attacking half. Lane over to Walker. Fourth official stands ready with a board to announce how many minutes to go. Gray leans into a header. Coco DeCipio, fouled by Hoban. And they will take plenty of time over the restart here, Bulls. How many minutes to go? Six additional minutes at the end of the second period of 15. Lots of time, and you can hear oohs and ahs around the crowd as they see that number go up on the board. The Bulls can make it a moot point if they score again, you would think. Dos Santos can't find Prakash with the pass, and Magus is out to collect. Drop kick out from Magus. Bouncing on. Lancaster flicks it into space. Brodigan, can she split the defenders? Brodigan! And it rolls wide. And Valletta was right there watching it every step of the way. It's a goal kick.
There's a good cover there from Valletta. She sees it roll out. Breath of fresh air there for the Bulls.
Well, Ash Brodigan nearly found a way through the central defenders. Got it goal bound, but not on target. Nomoto takes every second the referee will afford. And then wide to Coco DeCipio. And whistles in the mouth. Free kick, Coco DeCipio for late contacts. Right in front of the APIA bench.
What a great duel that's been, Coco DeCipio and up against Chico. Both have had immense games today.
Marty Garces geeing up the Bulls' bay of support. They are just minutes away from celebrating a breakthrough championship here. We've had almost 2 of 6 additional minutes at the end of the second half of extra time. Phillips, Lane, clears. Pepino's header, only as far as Gray. Hoban, back to Imogen Lane. Lane driving off the head of Melly. It'll be an APIA throw in the attacking half. May as well get everyone forward. Gisela Pepino. Lancaster. A rain-making cross. Chico. Brodigan, shaped for a volley, didn't meet it. Pepino! Not quite. Held on to by Nomoto. It just drifted in the end. It was promising off the boot, but it didn't quite have the firepower behind it. And now Coco DeCipio, oh, she's cramped and heavily. And she is down on the halfway line. APIA play on in the meantime. Pepino wiped out and cleared away by Melly to prevent Tash Pryor and Ash Brodigan advancing into the box. Bulls are protesting that because Coco DeCipio's on the pitch, play needs to stop, but Coco DeCipio stretched it out and she's running back to the action.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Doesn't want to leave the game even for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's Hoban against Prakash. Is it a corner? It is now. Charlotte Lancaster's left foot could be oh so important here.
The in-swinger here, Teo, danger.
Tash Pryor waits beyond the far post. Other players surround the goalkeeper. Lancaster's corner. Namoto comes out. Namoto bats it away. Massive from the goalkeeper. Pryor has retrieved the ball over against the touchline. Back to McNulty. Chico, flick header. Hoban, Valletta, Pepino. Ball just wouldn't sit, and it's cleared. Lancaster wants her left side. Away from Coco DeCipio. Lancaster fumbled. Oh, Namoto reaches out and grabs on. And she denies Ash Brodigan a chance to try and flick it in.
Brilliant from Namoto. She's kept her team in this game. Although they're ahead, these are the moments you want your goalkeepers stepping up.
And now Prakash. Can the Bulls take it down their attacking end? Hoban wins it away and wins a foul. Not wasting any time. Here's the restart off the head of Gray. McNulty. Lancaster drops the cross in the area, header from Dos Santos. Lane will run and retrieve the ball. Numbers in the middle. Lane pops it into the area. It bounces on. Gray's header away. We're into the last minute of 6 additional. And the Bulls have got possession through Coco DeCipio. She's just going to kick it away here. Walker will take possession with 45 seconds to go. Lancaster drives it long. Players are onside. Namoto comes out to collect. And then throws it out to Dos Santos. Dos Santos peeling away. 30 seconds to go here.
I would say either her or Liz.
Ball over on the right. APIA bench are up on their feet. Driven on to the head of Walker. Referee not reaching for the whistle just yet, but it's down the wrong end as far as APIA are concerned. Phillips. And the offside flag is up. And there's the full-time whistle. Bulls Academy are the champions of New South Wales, and they do so by winning one of the great grand finals. Bulls FC Academy have risen to the pinnacle of football. They are the champions of NPL New South Wales. They add the championship to the premiership. And it comes at the end of a grand final that had it all. They were 2-0 down. They were 3-2 down. They win 4-3. And it's been one of the great deciders that this state has seen.
It absolutely has, Teo. What a game we just witnessed. One of the greatest, that's for sure. A roller coaster of a game, and
them to celebrate a little bit. I'll grab
it was the Bulls who came out on top.
Teresa Polias, we're going to bring you the presentation. Will Constantinides will wave us down when he has post-match interviews. It's just been an extraordinary spectacle. I mean, neither team wanted to lose. It's heartbreak for the second season in a row for APIA, and it's almost difficult to put into words because it felt like it was never going to end, and with every goal that got scored, you never knew which direction the game was going to go next.
You didn't, and that's what made the game so brilliant. It was so unpredictable. It had absolutely everything in it, from cards to penalties, goals galore. Absolutely fantastic. What a showpiece for our game in this country.
I'll put you on the spot. Who's your player of the match?
Coco DeCipio. I've got to say, she was involved in everything, and at one point I would have said Prakash. It was, for me, close between the two, but Coco DeCipio just kept going and going and going. What a fantastic game for her.
So moments of celebration in the aftermath here for Bulls FC Academy. When the North Shore Mariners were relegated in 2019, few would have imagined that it would end up like this within 7 years. Let's go down to the sideline. Will Constantinides has got Liz Gray. Will, take it away.
Liz, how do you put this into words? A grand final win. What a big game it was to come back from 2-0 down. It gave you so many topsy-turvy moments. I mean, can you describe this for me?
I mean, there's so many words that come to mind, but I think there's two that really stick out. The first is how proud I am. I'm really proud. And the second is a swear word. But the third is resilience. I think, you know, we don't like to make it easy for ourselves. And when we went into that change room at halftime, 2-0 down, we just knew we had to believe. It was a battle. And APIA put up such a strong fight. They're such a good team with so much talent across the field. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to fighting spirit, and I think we just had that little bit extra that got us across the line. And yeah, I'm just so proud and a little bit in disbelief, to be honest.
Your goal was huge as well. You just made a big play. You're the tallest player in the box. Did you even see the ball go in? It looked like your teammates had to tell you that you scored the goal.
No, it's all a bit of a blur, to be honest. I just remember running, just had tunnel vision for that ball and just knew I had to get my head to it, and thankfully it went into the back of the net. So, I mean, credit to her. I think who kicked the ball in? Do you remember? I think it was Janaea. But, you know, I gave her one, she gave me one back. So it worked out in the end, but yeah.
And to come so close a couple of years ago, having that grand final heartbreak, it looked nervy at stages in this one when you were down 2-0 in the first half. How do you regroup and then get to this point now where you're lifting silverware?
It's just about getting the group together. I mean, when we were 2-0 down in the first half, it wasn't looking good for us. You know, we had our heads down a little bit, but, you know, there's a couple of players in this team, big players in this team that got the group together. You know, you look down, you look at the badge, you look at the players around you, and you play for them. And I think we really brought that out in the second half.
Thank you so much, Liz. Congratulations once again. NPL New South Wales Women's Champion. Back to you, Teo.
Thank you to Will, and thank you to Liz Gray, who runs over to join her teammates who've been waiting for her to do a bit of a thank you to their fans and to the crowd. They're going to take a collective bow here and say thank you very much. And there was a great atmosphere for this grand final, wasn't there?
It was fantastic. The crowd were involved through all the ups and the downs. It was an amazing atmosphere.
Be interested to see who ends up with the player of the match, because I would have voted for Prakash. You said Coco DeCipio.
Look, I think there were many worthy.
I've been given a different name that might be the potential winner, okay. So we'll find out during the trophy presentation, and Will flag us down as soon as he's got other players to interview here. But we might have another one before we get the trophy presentation. So I've got my eyes locked in on him. He's got Marty Garces, and so as soon as the camera's ready, we'll throw it back down to Will, because he's got the mastermind here, the coach of the Bulls Academy.
Well, we want to hear that interview, don't we?
Well, of course, they got to the grand final under Jamie Gomez in 2013, another very highly rated coach who went on to be part of the national team setup. And Marty Garces I think he's talking to one of his players. Not 100% sure who it is, but it's all taking place and unfolding in front of us. It might be Jade Guichon, you're right. Well, I guess you still get the joy of winning. And Guichon's role in this game, in spite of the red card, still can't be understated. She won the penalty to get them the equaliser.
She had a great game up until, you know, that point, and it's something for her to learn from.
All right,
for sure.
Will Constantinides, we've got you ready with the coach Martinho Garces. Take it away.
Marty Garces, champion. How do you get through this game? You're down 2-0. It looked difficult at stages. What are you saying to keep the team going and get this win?
About enthusiasm, you know, out enthuse them, the energy, and do what we've been doing all year.
And what does this win mean? You guys had a crazy run through the midway of the season. At the start of the year, it was a difficult start, and now you find yourself as a champion. How do you coach the team through the season and through a difficult game?
Yeah, there's been a lot of challenges throughout the season, but that's what makes it the competition that it is. To finish on top, you got to fight through it all. And there's all the other clubs that we've got to honour because they made it such a tough competition. So yeah.
I saw you chatting to Jay just before the red card. It was a drama-filled game. What were you saying to her just then? Despite the win, it's a very dramatic game and a lot of emotions to process.
And it's everything that you want a final to be. Jade, she's a name. She's one for the future. She's already the future, and she'll go into a lot of things. It's just about getting around her and making sure that she's supported and supporting her through her strength. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Marty. Enjoy the celebrations. Marty Garces, the championship-winning coach.
Thank you, Will, and great insights there from Marty Garces as well. He's very calm, very level-headed coach, and you can see why his team has so much belief. I mean, he definitely got fired up at moments during the game, but he had a very measured, I think, control of that technical area throughout the game.
Yeah, you could certainly see that, and you could feel that in the way the Bulls played. No matter what obstacles they came across, they remained calm and just kept going at it. They stuck to what they know, their values and their principles, and it worked for them.
Now, I think we're going to try to take as much of the post-game as we can. Liz Gray is now coming up to receive the medal for... Is that the medal for player of the match?
I think it is, and a worthy winner. It could have been many of their players, I think.
Liz Gray gets the acknowledgement there.
Now we turn our attention to acknowledging the
Final.
referees who officiated today's grand final.
And the referees will get their acknowledgements here. Tell you what, there's a reason that the best referees get the big games, because this was a difficult game to referee. You had 3 penalties, 2 red cards, and non-stop drama throughout the match.
I think it was phenomenally officiated today. Well done to all referees involved.
So the refereeing crew, Charlotte Flynn, Amber Morris, Lara Hogan and Nia Valade, they received their acknowledgement for a great season, to be appointed to the grand final, and their thank you for refereeing the grand final. So we're going to hear from APIA now. Let's listen in and see how much of this post-match we can hear.
Stepping in for Crofty. Big game. Shit result for us. That's all right. We forge. Thank you, Football New South Wales, sponsors, Turner Freeman Lawyers, Bulls. Big fight, big game. We knew it was going to be huge, and we had all the show going on. Referees, thank you. Girls, what a hustle. Halfway through the season, it was looking pretty grim. And I think we all, like Crofty said earlier, linked arms, pushed through, and we made it here. Tough that we just couldn't get over the line, but here we are. Let's go. Mona.
So APIA receiving their runners-up medals here. Teal Kilbride is speaking because, sadly, Ashley Crofts is still being treated and waiting for medical assistance behind the right of screen goal. So our worst fears about that injury appear to be apparent, because she's still down, I imagine, waiting for something like an ambulance crew to come and take her away.
Really concerning signs, and no doubt that Carey's on the way, though, and we wish her a speedy recovery.
It's just a bitter pill to swallow for APIA. I mean, they'll be remembered for 2 of the great grand finals, but no one wants to remember being on the losing side of them. Last year and this year were both rippers, and sadly they come out as runners-up in both. Yeah,
look, unfortunately they've been on the wrong end of it, but the good thing is they keep coming back and challenging for championships, and one of these days, Teo, it's going to fall in their favour. That's for sure.
They've won the club championship for the 2nd season in a row, and you just know that the determination of the APIA administration, they're a club that's heading for the Australian Championship in the men's, and they want to be best in class every step of the way with the women's as well. They will be, you're right, they will be back. But in the short term here, it's going to be tough to take. I see Mel Caceres in there, who obviously suffered a season-ending injury not even a third of the way through the campaign, and she was meant to be the final piece of the jigsaw that took them over the top to win the championship. But even the best laid plans sometimes don't end up the way you might have written them up in pre-season, and they will have to do a lot of soul-searching great to see Jess Seaman there with her 2 children as well. Will did suggest to us during one of the crosses that this might be Jess Seaman's final game before retiring altogether. She's been a bit of a timeless player over the course of her career, and she still plays like she's, you know, she's in the peak of her powers.
I think she is at the peak of her powers, having played with Jess back when she was a striker, and seeing her mature and become a mum first and foremost, and come back and play at this level, an A-League level, and reach her peak. I'd love to see her continue, but you know, we wish her all the best with whatever road she does take.
So the next stop for APIA is the off-season. Liz Gray, who we did hear from with Will, we'll try and hear what we can of her post-match acknowledgement here.
Grab your medal as well.
Do I say a few words? Thank you so much, firstly, to our opponents, APIA. You've been a tough competitor through this whole season, and you know, you have so much to be proud for today. It was such a tough game, and you know, I love sharing the field with the likes of Ashcrofts. You know, best wishes to her in her recovery. And Jess, I'm really sorry about your nose. But thank you, APIA, for putting up a good fight. It's a pleasure to play you. From the Bulls, Marty, the coaching staff, Christian, Al, Kashani, Sean, thank you so much for your vision and leadership to get us here today. We couldn't have done it without your resilience, your strategy, and your belief in us. To our manager, Imogen, and my beautiful wife as well, thank you so much for keeping not just me together, but the whole team. I love you. To the Bulls, we did it, and I'm so proud of every single one of you. You didn't stop believing this whole season, this whole game, and you deserve to feel all of this. This is your moment. To our fans, thank you so much for coming out. We heard you not just today, but throughout the whole season. Thank you for being there for us, for driving us to games, even when we're in the under-6s all the way through to now. I'm 31 now, and my parents still come to all my games. So thank you. We love you. And yeah, feel the moment, girls. Thank you so much. I'm so honoured to be your captain. All right, Tammy, happy birthday. Come here. Jade. Avani Prakash. Ruby. Anna. Jasmine Melly. Patria Phillips. Maya. Danny. Grace Johns. Lily. Gemma Ferris. Izzy Coco DeCipio. Claudia Valletta. Mio. Janaea Dos Santos.
Someone like Maya
Indy
Khalil,
Dos Santos.
who came on and, you know, just kept them ticking over in extra time. And we rarely thought this game was heading to penalties because they had such energy coming off the bench.
Yeah, Khalil was a great example. She was brilliant coming on and settled the ship even more, I believe. And, you know, she complemented the game out there, and it just goes to show how well coached they are as a team.
Of course, they went to extra time in the semi-final and the grand final, but were still able to win without the need for a penalty shootout. And yet they still had penalty heroics from their goalkeeper, Mio Nomoto, to keep the score at 4-3 when Apia had the chance to draw level 4-4. So all that's left is for the trophy to be hoisted. And these photos and this story will certainly resonate because, of course, it is a team that wears the MacArthur FC logo on their chest. They don't field a team in the A-League Women's just yet, but they are now the champions and the premiers of the second best league in the country, NPL New South Wales. So I think a lot of people will be putting 2 and 2 together, hoping that
read between the lines
that
there.
This team can make an ascension even further. But for now, they are at the top of the mountain that's in front of them, and that is NPL Women's New South Wales. And they've done it with one of the great grand finals that'll never be forgotten from everyone that played in the game and everyone that was here today. So one last moment to enjoy. Your NPL Women's New South Wales champions of 2025, the Bulls Academy.
2025 NPL Women's New South Wales champions, the Bulls FC Academy.
And Liz Gray will take over the trophy and hoist it. The champions, Bulls Academy. And so the party starts for the Bulls. Teresa Polias, we will go back down to Will if we have him and interviews again before we go off air and move for the men's. I mean, I would hazard a guess that the men's is going to have to wait for an ambulance crew to treat Ashley Crofts at a minimum, because they can't start the game with her there, I imagine, or even do warm-ups with her where she is behind the goal. But let's finish off by focusing on the winners, the Bulls Academy. Everyone's getting their turn with the trophy. And, you know, it took a team today. Everyone had to have their moment where they went in for a 50-50, where they scored a goal, where they made a defensive block, where they played an important pass. I mean, this was a team with no passengers. And it's a championship that they can be incredibly proud of. Premiers and
the double,
champions.
Teo. They've done the double, which is such a hard thing to achieve once you win that minor premiership. You know, everyone's out to get you, and for them to step up with such a young squad and achieve that is absolutely remarkable. And they enjoy every bit of this celebration, and like you said, every single player played their part.
And these are the photos that will live on mantelpieces and walls and phone-safe screens for the rest of their lives.
And profile pages.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to Bulls FC Academy. And just keeping an eye on Will, if he is going to grab maybe one more interview for us. If you're waiting for the men's grand final, don't forget that will be coming on this YouTube channel. I reckon Will's got Avani Prakash and the trophy ready to go. Let's throw it down to Will.
I'm here with Avani Prakash and the championship trophy. Avani, grand final champion. How does it feel?
Feels amazing. I'm so proud of the girls. It was a big shift and I'm just so happy.
And you came on and I thought you really made a difference in midfield. The game was at an interesting stage. You guys were trailing. What was the message from Marty coming onto the pitch?
Just to play our football. We know what to do and we've been in that position before and we knew what we had to do. We just had to come out with more fight and we did that and we showed a lot of people that.
And you were on a plane not that long ago coming back into this team now. Was it a seamless transition? I mean, it's a lot to juggle for sure with youth national team duties.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle, but the girls are amazing and they make it so easy for me. And they've been playing good football regardless of if I was here or I wasn't here. And I'm just so proud to them. It's definitely a good effort.
And for yourself personally, I know an A-League contract is potentially on the cards as well with the unfortunate situation at Western United. Did it feel like you were playing for something a little extra out there?
No, just normally just want to win the grand final. That's all. Like A-League was out of it. I was just thinking about my team and what I can do for them and just to get the win. That's all I was thinking about.
And lastly, you got the championship trophy here. What's on the cards for celebration tonight? Do you have any ideas?
Going back to Anna's house and see what will happen.
Well, there you go. That's where the celebrations are headed. Avani Prakash and Bulls FC Academy, NPL champions.
Thank you, Will. And you can't take the smile off Avani Prakash's face. And it's a heavy-looking trophy, T. I mean, you've been there. You've hoisted some big trophies relative to your size as well, but you can't take the smile off her face.
You certainly don't feel it after a win, that's for sure.
And so I think that might be us done here on the NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final coverage. Stick around for the men's. Teresa Polias, thank you so much for your company. You've done overtime with me this afternoon.
Thanks, Teo. An absolute pleasure.
Unforgettable game, and we really appreciate you lending your expertise to the broadcast today.
Thank you.
On behalf of Will Constantinides down on the sideline, on behalf of our broadcast partner today, Sportscast Australia, my name's Teo Pellizzeri. Thank you for your company. Commiserations, APIA. Congratulations to Bulls FC Academy. This was season 2025 in NPL Women's New South Wales. Good night.